Good evening everyone and welcome to Motors TV and to everyone watching on YouTube. It's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship presented by Engine Oil Direct. It's rounds 49, 50 and 51 of the Pro Series. My name is Andrew Woodhouse. I'm joined with iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson, and first of all, making a welcome return to the commentary booth, Adam Bath. Adam, we're at Mid-Ohio in the United States here. 40 cars taken to the grid. It's going to be very tight and very difficult to pass.
Yes, indeed, Andrew. Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be back after 2 weeks on holiday, unfortunately, about that. But Mid-Ohio, first time we've raced here in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, and I have to say, it looks like a return of some of the older faces. Graham Carroll is back. He's on pole position, for provisional pole position at the moment. And we've got the likes of Blake Townend and other drivers returning as well. So it's good to see them back. And with a field of 40 cars, as you were saying, a lot of great racing to be expected tonight.
Indeed, and I bring in Alex Simpson. Alex, welcome. Mid-Ohio, it's a track you've had quite a lot of experience with before, racing the IndyCar, for instance, around here. The tyres are going to take a pounding, aren't they? It's almost constant turning after the first sector, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi everybody. Good to be back calling action Mid-Ohio. I love this place. Great flowing track, but like you say, very, very demanding on the tyres. Just from heavy braking to constant change of direction all through that midfield section there. A lot of undulation changes as well. Can just get the car a little bit light, perhaps on the rear end as well. Hopefully these front wheel drive Kias shouldn't suffer too much with that. But yeah, like you say, really it's gonna be about trying to save those as much as you can, as we just see a little accident, people trying to back up, trying to get their hot lap in.
Well, let's run you through the championship standings going into this race meeting. Wojciech Savidovic is atop the Drivers' Championship by 376 points over Andreas Katz in second. David Baker is in third, with Jamie Rushworth in fourth. Jamie Rushworth not racing this evening, so it's most likely that fifth place Manstelian Shepelevsky will move up into fourth. Pete Newman is in sixth. He's racing from a hospital bed with a controller. More on that story after the standings. Seventh place is Alex Malensky, eighth Ellis Stevens, ninth Simon Field, and in that final showdown position is Sebastian Joe. What a comeback from him after not racing in the first few events of the season. 11th is Paul Smith, topping the AM standings. John Roberts in 12th. Lee Thompson is in 13th. Daniel Hunt 14th. Steve Walker 15th. 16th Robert Plumley. 17th Richard Gore. 18th Andrew Whitehead. 19th Laura Bond. And Jay Wright is in 20th, Andrew.
It is indeed. And looking at the Teams Championship, it's been a terrific season so far for Engine Oil Direct. They're 814 points in front of STEM Sim Racing, with GT Omega Racing in third. And we will have a quick look at the ES Trophy standings. That's the AM Championship. Currently leading that one then, after the first 48 races, is currently Paul Smith, Alex, with a 25-point lead.
Yeah, ridiculously close championship at the moment. John Roberts had a really good season, but Paul just about got himself up there. Good race meeting for Richard Gore in third place as well, moved himself up in that fight, 298. I know he's had his summer holiday now as well, so he'll be trying to close that gap down towards those guys. I mean, top five still look particularly close. Laura, we know, has got a great sort of head start once she gets into the sort of the chase, so it's all to play for in that championship for sure.
Yeah, Laura Bond with 9 wins in her class this season. That is actually the second most behind Stephen Burke, but Burke isn't in the top 5 in points, so he will not qualify to get any extra points in the showdown. At the moment, he's just a wild card entry. Alex, the tyres are going to take an absolute beating around here, the fronts especially. What's the key for these guys and girls, you know, keeping it clean and trying to preserve that rubber?
Yeah, I think for the first couple of laps, like you say, they're just it's just a case of trying not to abuse them a little bit while they're at their best, and just be very patient. I think on the accelerator pedal, you don't really want to sort of try and burn up. You don't want too much wheel spin or anything like that coming out of the slow speed corners. It's very easy to try and pick up the gas really, really early. The natural understeer will just get progressively worse the more you push it. So I think we might see some different races perhaps tonight, with drivers maybe jumping away at the start and then being able to sort of be tracked back down from those guys who perhaps just took a little bit of a conservative approach at the start of the race.
Well, the checkered flag's just come out, and a bit of a topsy-turvy grid. I know I've been away for 2 weeks, but it definitely looks to be an exciting race one. Graham Carroll, whose last win on my stats was all the way back in Season 6 in October at the Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst. He is on pole position for race one with Stelian Chepelevsky in second. So Chepelevsky obviously has taken a liking to this Mid-Ohio racetrack, with Sebastian Job in third, Daniel Hunt fourth, Wojciech Zawidowicz, our championship leader, in fifth, Andres Katz sixth, Tom Ward in seventh place, Alex Smolensky, a welcome return to him, to the top 10 in eighth, Sharon Kaiser in ninth, and Lee Thompson in 10th, Andrew.
Yeah, Lee Thompson has been having a consistent season. He's up there in the showdown positions at the moment. Sorry, he's just out of the showdown positions after last week missing a meeting. But it's a full complement, Alex, for the first time in a long time for Apex Racing TV, isn't it?
I think it's the first full complement they've had all season, so it'd be good to see what they can do. Jake last week, obviously disaster on that last lap. We won't dwell on that. He's still gutted for that. Nash is back as well. He missed a week last week because of work commitments. So yeah, it's great to see them guys all out, and we'll see what they can do.
It's amazing the fact that Sebastian Job, after finally clinching a spot inside the top 10, he's gone from being from the bottom of the standings right up to second place behind Wojciech Zawidowicz. That shows you how much those wins seem to help you in the showdown points.
Yeah, and he's ahead of Andreas Katz now as well, which is going to be quite a big thing coming into the final few races of the season, if he can stay there. Remember, there's still another roughly 25-30 races before the showdown starts. So Job, he's not locked in yet, Alex, but he's changed his approach, hasn't he, the last couple of rounds, and it's paid off.
I think he realises now he's just got to make sure he just keeps banging in those good points, get himself in that top 10. He doesn't want to be in on the wild card. That will make all those podiums and race wins just be completely wasted. So he needs to just improve on his points, keep working his way up through that table, pick up those podiums wherever he can, and sometimes you just have to sacrifice a couple of places in order to be a little bit safer out there, I think.
It's going to be interesting to see, Adam, how this absence hurts Jamie Rushworth's standing in the table.
Well, yeah, there was only 1 point between him and Stelian Chepelevsky going into this race meeting, so that's definitely Rushworth lost 1 place before race one even begins, and it is very close between Rushworth and Pete Newman and Alex Smolensky as well, less than 100 points separating them. So with those guys all racing tonight, that's Rushworth down to 7th place, and Ellis Stevens, Simon Field and Sebastian Job aren't too far away either, so if they have a consistent evening, he could be almost on the verge of falling outside the top 10 and having to practically win more races to basically get back inside the top 10. So this could be a crucial event in the championship.
Sorry, Adam. That's exactly what happened to Lee, wasn't it? He was in 5th place before last week. Had that, had his little break there, and he dropped himself way down to, was 11th or 12th? So yeah,
13th.
There you go, just crazy.
But I mean, you've still got guys like Dan Hunt outside of the top 12. You've got Steve Walker. You've got Dan Hunt's a wild card at the moment, as is actually Paul Smith. So if Smith can keep up his good form, he's got a chance. You've got the likes of Laura Bond and Steve Burke and Steve Walker and even Rob Plumley and Richard Gore. They've definitely got a chance, Adam, haven't they, of making a move, because their form's improving by the day.
Yes, indeed. You can. The last few race meetings, they've started to move their way up through the order, and of course, then battling in the AM standings as well. That's super tight as well, as you were saying with Alex. 25 points separating Paul Smith and John Roberts. Richard Gore moving up a place in the last round with Andrew Whitehead in 4th, and even tighter there. Laura Bond, Jay Wright, Scott Malcolm, Laser Tools racing there as well. We're just heading down to the grid. Very odd here, because usually at Mid-Ohio we see rolling starts, and it's going to be interesting to see, because the cars will most likely be bending around the hairpin at the final corner.
It's going to be an experimental start, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Alex, if they, assuming they do get out alive from the first lap, 2 main overtaking points here, isn't it? It's the hairpin at turn 2, and then down at turn 4, which is the right-hander, which dips down into that tight middle sector.
Yeah, exactly that. Two places that we expect most of the action to happen. I dare say we might see the odd move going into the penultimate corner as well if somebody just runs a little bit wide in there. But that'll be really from a mistake rather than an actual overtaking manoeuvre.
We'll have to see how Pete Newman gets on as well, being hospitalised, but he's got his computer there, he's got his controller. Look, let's have a look. Where are they starting? Oh, they're starting round the penultimate corner and even further back on the grid start. So I think Adam, maybe if you keep an eye on the back, I'll watch the front, and
Sure.
if anything goes on, we'll see. Because
Yeah, literally, they're backing it up all the way to the penultimate corner. That's how far back it is.
look where the start-finish line is, Alex. As well, it's very very close to the last corner, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy actually that they're so far back. I mean,
Poor Laura Bond. She's got
Such
the
a
best
huge-
view of everyone.
such a huge grid. I didn't realise iRacing grid spots all the way around that corner. But yeah, amazing. 40 cars. Just impressive again.
Yeah, great turnout here in this Pro Series, and we're not going to be that far away actually from these 40 cars being let loose in anger. So it's round 49.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag waves at Mid-Ohio, and Graham Carroll takes the lead off the grid. He made a good start ahead of Stelian Chepelevsky, but he's coming under pressure from Sebastian Job. They all get into turn one okay. Hunt trying to go around the outside of Job, and actually he's got the line into the hairpin. They've got to climb the hill, difficult braking uphill. Everyone seems to have got round the last few corners okay on the start. Hunt very late on the brakes, trying to get the advantage on Sebastian Job, the World Championship driver, down to 4th place, Alex.
Yeah, good start from everybody. I haven't seen any issues whatsoever. All those that have had to come from the back and around those last two corners seem to be going okay. Ridiculously close out there right now.
Graham Carroll protecting the inside, Adam, on against the attack of Chepelevsky, and Chepelevsky's teammate Dan Hunt is watching. This sector's very, very difficult, isn't it? It's very tight, usually first gear, maybe second.
Yeah, I expect it to be mostly single file as well, and not many drivers trying to overtake each other through this part of the circuit. Sebastian Job having a look down the inside as Daniel Hunt, but not too close then. It might be just a little bit of contact there between those two as they head through the right-hander, plunging down this hill and then back up it again towards the penultimate corner. Pretty short lap here.
It's almost impossible to pass through that middle sector, and you've got Savidovic in 5th ahead of Andreas Katz. Then it's Tom Ward. Actually, Tom Ward's been passed by Alex Smolenski for 7th. Smolenski's season is looking pretty handy at the moment as well. He's in 7th overall, and he's really flying the flag for Laser Tools, flying the Scottish flag. Jeroen Kaiser in 9th. Alex, it's good to see Kaiser up there.
Yeah, Kaiser having a really good race, actually strong qualifying as well. It's almost like he's had some time to practice rather than do a lot of the admin work behind the scenes.
Oh, and Savidovic is having a look on Job, and he can't quite do it. I was racing here last night. It seems it's quite hard to pass into the hairpin because you can brake relatively late and chuck it in. You've got to be careful you don't lock the wheels though, because you will go off into that gravel trap, and it's a long way back from there. You will lose a lot of positions.
So at the end of lap number 1, it's Graham Carroll leading, Stelian Chepelevsky 2nd, Daniel Hunt is in 3rd, Sebastian Job in 4th, Savidovic 5th, 6th Andreas Katz, 7th Alex Smolenski, 8th Tom Ward, Jeroen Kaiser in 9th, and Lee Thompson rounds out the top 10 as they head through this tight and twisty section.
Pete Newman's got away okay as well from his ward and his reclining bed, 38th place. But he's just keeping a watching brief on the back of this fighting pack, including Laura Bond, Ade Lopez. Laura was pretty quick round here last night, so I'm surprised she's all the way down there, but she did have a back of the grid penalty, in fact, from Laguna Seca for causing a collision with Rob Plumley. Also at the back was Ade Lopez for an infringement at Silverstone, which was his last meeting, Alex. It seemed like a while ago since we were at the home of British Motorsport.
Yeah, we haven't seen Lopez for quite a while. What a great meeting that was as well at Silverstone, as Graham Carroll just puts the fastest lap of the race in that time by. But Lopez working his way up there, 34th place. He'll be trying to get himself into potential reverse grid pole position, I think. That'd be his target for this race.
It looked like there's a move up into the hairpin, and that's James Nash going up the inside of Blake Townend. So Townend, who's a former World Championship Series driver himself, under a lot of pressure from the Apex car, and now Simon Field sees a chance at trying to get past Townend as well, Adam, into turn 4.
Yes, side by side down this back straight. This is where we're going to see most of the overtaking moves happen. Into the right-hander Townend, very good on the brakes. Manages to keep himself in front of the Pete Newman media car of Simon Field. Blake Townend,
look at Steve Walker on the inside.
Down the inside, yes.
That's a great move by Walker, and that's the sort of move, Alex, which as Field tries to come back.
Just having a little look at this on a replay now, guys. Sorry, just to cut you short there as the camera switched over. But yeah, so it looked like side by side from Nash and Townend there, all the way from turn 1. Yeah, and then like you say, you can see the Pete Newman media car trying to get around the outside of Blake, not managing to make it stick.
That's the sort of move, though, that you have to make, Adam, at this Mid-Ohio circuit.
Yeah, basically, because there's not too many overtaking opportunities, really down into that hairpin before the straight, and then the hairpin at the end of the straight. Apart from that, as we've seen so far in these first opening few laps, very hard to get it done anywhere else on the racetrack.
We've got Janowski and Plumley side by side. Sorry, not Plumley. Janowski and Stefan Hoog side by side through the first corner. Well, through the first corner, it was Janowski that had the advantage, but Hoog, who was a former championship runner-up, and he's a reserve driver for this season. He's trying to go round the outside of the GT Omega car, and I tell you what, Alex has gone and done it. That's really good.
Yeah, great move. That is not easy to do at all. What a fantastic overtake. He might come under a little bit of pressure here down the straight, though.
This might just set off a whole chain of events, Adam, with Janowski and Rusty Laidler's behind, and then Paul Smith, the AM leader.
Yeah, and while we were looking at that as well, Sebastian Job has managed to force his way past Daniel Hunt into 3rd place. It was a move that really wouldn't have happened unless there was a bit of contact. It was into the left-hander after the long back straight, and he was just able to nudge his way past the GT Omega car and through into the podium positions for Sebastian Job. Hunt down to 4th with Savidovic in 5th.
All 39 runners, Alex, are still with us. Stanimir Zuzov didn't take the start, but everyone else is still going, which is great.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. Just seeing a little replay of how Sebastian got past there. We didn't think there'd be any overtaking going over the crest, but like you say, just a little bit of forceful measure just to complete it. I gave him enough room there, to be fair as well. Saw him come in and did try and fight that too aggressively once Sebastian was up the inside.
He might have to start defending from Wojciech Savidovic, Adam, though, into the hairpin. And it looks like Graham Carroll, actually, his tyres look like they're hanging on a bit better than Chepelevsky's. Chepelevsky, of course, sat in that, albeit not as much as a downforce-laden single-seater. Still a bit of dirty air, isn't there, coming off these Kias?
Yeah, even though they've only got that little bit of a wing on the back, they're still providing a bit of dirty air, and I'm sure that's going to be affecting Stelin Chepelevsky. 0.6 of a second behind at the end of the last lap, and Sebastian Job definitely seems to be the man on the mission at the moment. Into 3rd place. He did start in 3rd after all on the grid. He just lost a position in the opening few laps, but now he seems to be trying to fight his way back through, and I'm sure, well, at the moment it looks like he's looking the better driver out of him and Chepelevsky at the moment. Chepelevsky just ran a little bit wide there. However, behind Sebastian Job, it does look like that Daniel Hunt is just starting to hold up Wojciech Savidovic.
Yeah, Stellian looked very good at the start of the race, but he's starting, I think, to suffer a little bit. Hunt likewise got past Job, and then he's yielded the position, but now Savidovic on the attack. Alex, look at this field just streaming through, and the back of the field still going through the back of the shot.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and there's a mistake, I think, I saw a lock-up in the background. It's Janowski with Daniel Kraft going around the outside of him, and they make a little bit of contact, but it's generally, and they're banging wheel arches in towards turn 1. Dan Kraft surely got the inside line here, and surely got the high ground, but Janowski doing exceptionally well to hang it around the outside, and he's got Paul Smith and the Power Max car of Adekova Lopez, is it, behind them? And Lopez going around the outside of Smith, but that's not going to work quite yet.
Janowski holds on as well. Great defensive driving from him around the outside of the corner. Gave himself the inside for the hairpin there, and like I say, Lopez trying to get by Paul Smith as well. Smith, of course, leading the AM Championship way down in 29th place right now. 2
by 2 into the left-hander at the end, and Lopez trying to go around the outside of Smith. At the same time, Field trying to get past Kraft trying to get past Janowski, and he's managed to do that, and Lopez has been able to get past Smith as well, so those 2 positions have both changed, and Lopez already onto the back of Janowski as we head through this right-hander. And can he lunge it down the inside? No, not enough room there to get it done.
Alex,
But he
this
runs
is
wide.
Koba is having a little look through the right-hander, and then they're going to turn left over the crest. Not enough room there for Lopez, as Smith's watching, and so is Steve Richardson, Jake Blackhall, Andy Whitehead, Scott Malcolm. They're in attendance as well. Alex, what action in the BSRTC? I mean, this is what this is all about, scrapping tooth and nail for 28th position.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think just having a little look further on as well, Blake Townend had some sort of an issue. Lopez got a great one on Janowski. We're on board with him right now. It's going to be side by side going into the hairpin, but late on the brakes for Lopez. He's going to get this move done, I think. Around the outside for Janowski. He's going to try and hold on, just can't quite keep the line tight enough there.
Poor Julian Janowski's been losing places in that corner the last few laps, and he's just lost another one.
It's all going on up front as well. Sebastian Job just moved himself into second. Let's take a quick look at a replay and see what that was all about, because Chepelevsky's all the way down to 4th place as well after that.
Yeah, Stellian losing a couple of positions there. Let's see what happened. It was a little nudge from Job.
Same place he did it to the hill. Same place he did it to Hunt a few laps ago.
Tell you what, the youngster is asserting himself, shall we say, Adam. He's, to be fair, he's making things happen, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely putting it. He's doing almost a Matt Neal on it, putting a car in a place where you wouldn't expect it to be doing overtakes. But he's now through into 2nd place. However, at the same time, that's come at the detriment of a 1.5 second gap between him and Graham Carroll. Chepelevsky now down to 4th place. Savidovic in 5th. And Savidovic, he puts a wheel or two into the grass on the exit of turn 1. He's seen Dan Hunt get past Chepelevsky. Now he wants to try and get himself up into 4th place.
Alex, 38 cars covered by 24 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculously close. I'm just looking at a good little battle between, half the field, I think. From 16th through to about 22nd. They're covered by 2 seconds out there right now. Just spread out all of a sudden, actually. I was just looking at live timings, and they were sort of 0.2 of a second apart from each other. But going down the back straight now, you can just see him streaming down there. Robert Fagg in 19th place at the moment, right in the middle of that little battle.
Oh, smoke, and it's Job. Job has lost a few positions, and only hits Chepelevsky. And Savidovic trying to get past Chepelevsky as well now. Yes, he does. Something happened to Sebastian Job. I saw tyre smoke, and he's lost the position to Daniel Hunt now.
Let's have a look. Oh, Daniel Hunt repaying the favour at the top of the hill. And Sebastian, well, he dished it, and he dished it out, and then he took some. And then he gives some to Chepelevsky. Awesome racing there. I mean, it was definitely feisty.
Job coming up to the back of Hunt again.
This is where Seb needs to use his head, and he needs to realise he's in the showdown positions. Jamie Rushworth's not here, so that's virtually a free position if he has a good meeting, Adam, and doesn't want to go running into Daniel Hunt. Well, at least not anymore.
Well, look how interesting this has got. Hunt defending the inside lines. Job goes now to the outside. Savidovic just watching this keenly. And he's going to go around the outside. Surely he's going to run out of room there.
He hasn't got the grip out there. You see that new...
Did a good run though. When he coming out of there, he'll get on the power a little bit earlier than Hunt. Although it looked like
in the background, Chepelevsky.
He's closing now. Down the back straight.
Chepelevsky losing a place to Katz as well.
Hunt needs to defend the inside. As you see, Katz and Chepelevsky in the background. As Hunt trying desperately to stay ahead of Sebastian Job, and he is doing so, beautifully positioning his Kia Optima, but they've lost 3 seconds to Graham Carroll now.
Sebastian Job, Daniel Hunt is not quick through that section there, and I thought Sebastian Job was just going to knock him out of the way there. He's got the best line, Sebastian Job, through that right-hander there. Hunt had to defend the inside line once again, but there's just not enough of a room on this part of the racetrack to get the move done. It's all tight and twisty now through this left-hander and into the hairpin at the end of the lap. Sebastian Job, he hits him. Daniel Hunt out of control. The car gets unsettled, but he manages to hold on to it as they head through the final corner. He still is in he's still in 2nd place though.
The GT Mega car surviving there, Alex, and Job, he's got to be careful, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
doesn't want a penalty either.
Well, I was about to say, there's been a lot of contact here, and we're only allowed 11 instant points as well. We touched on what they were last week as well, and it's very, very easy to pick up just a little tap here and there, and they've got to be on the brink right now, surely.
Some of them. I mean, some of the little contacts they might be okay, but I'm almost certain that those 2 nudges from Job would have been 4 times. So if he gets another one, that could be him disqualified.
Yep. 5 laps to go as well.
But that's the disapproving voice of the team manager there.
Yeah. And Savidovic is now joining in.
Wojciech.
Oh, no!
The season 6 champion Savidovic having a little look. And that's going to allow Andreas Katz, who's the reigning champion with the number 1 plate on the car, to close in just a little bit. He's in 5th place, ahead of Stelian Chepelevsky, who qualified 2nd, and he's had a couple of run-ins, let's say, with Job, and that's put him down into 6th.
Hunt just ran a little bit wide there through that corner. Once again allows Job to close in, and in fact it's allowed everyone else to close in as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars, I think, battling over this 2nd place.
We'll stay focused on this battle while it's going on. I'll just run through a couple of other standout positions. Lee Thompson's up to 8th place, Dave Baker's up to 9th, Steve Walker to 14th from 19th on the grid, and some of the guys at the back, Stefan Hoog's not really gone anywhere, he's only 23rd. Koba Lopez is 27th. Lopez needs 1 more position to potentially get a reverse grid berth, and Wojciech Savidovic now, is he poised to take 3rd position away from Sebastian Job? Not quite, as into the hairpin. Job is late enough on the brakes, and Katz had a little sniff there, Alex, and you know, you've got to think that something's got to give here.
Yeah, I think on that last lap, I think we're going to see some people trying some moves just to get anything done. I think we might see a couple of disqualifications from this race. Just counting the amount of times they've made contact with each other, they must surely be on the absolute brink at the moment. Maybe 2 or 3 of these cars.
Job is inches away.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're saving their incident points up to use them on the final lap. Well, it doesn't look like Sebastian Job is using that logic. The front of his Kia Optima does look pretty bent indeed as they head through that right-hander over the top and then back down the hill, almost like Paddock Hill Bend in a bit of a way there as we head into the penultimate corner. Graham Cowell coming to the line, 3 laps to go for him, 5-second lead.
What a dream return.
Yeah, hasn't won since Bathurst back in October. Pretty different racetrack here in Mid-Ohio, but he looks like he's going to be doing it again as they come across the line now. It's all about the run through this corner, and if Daniel Hunt, still not able to get it done. Let's see if Daniel Hunt can get a good run through here. It looks like he has.
There's still 3 laps to go, and ever so slowly, Adam, you're getting Ward and Thompson and Baker and Palmer and Kaiser just slowly closing up to the back here as Job takes a wider line through the hairpin. This now has him right next to Daniel Hunt, almost coming off the corner. Hunt got good traction out of turn 2 in the hairpin. Savidovic is lurking, he's looking to make a move as well, but
here he comes.
Hunt on the inside. Savidovic is going to try and put his car on the inside of Job, and that's actually worked because he's blocked off the young man from England and into 3rd place.
Well, it didn't help that Sebastian Job got a bit of contact with Daniel Hunt going into the right-hander, and that just halted his progress even more. Wojciech Savidovic was like, thank you very much. He's now through into the podium places.
Alex, this isn't necessarily going to make it any easier for Daniel Hunt now that Wojciech Savidovic is behind him, though.
No, not at all. I think, Savidovic should put just as much pressure on him as he possibly can. Every point counts, doesn't it, towards the end of the season? So he'll want to get this 2nd place for sure.
What a fantastic touring car race here at Mid-Ohio. We have precisely 0 retirements on a 39 car field, and I've probably jinxed it, but that is superb, and that is what we want to see, and that's what we're broadcasting right here on Motors TV every week, and from this great series with a prize fund of $10,000.
Well, this is the first lap that Daniel Hunt hasn't had to defend the inside line, but Katz has a look to the inside of Sebastian Job. From what we've seen the last few laps, is so superior on the brakes. That's not going to be a likely move this time around. However, Daniel Hunt, 0.4 of a second, in fact, in front of Wojciech Savidovic as they head down the back straight. So he's managed to distance himself from Savidovic just for the time being, but he's still got to go through that straight one more time after this.
What do you think, Alex? What's your money on? Is Daniel Hunt going to stay in 2nd place?
I think he's drove really well so far, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake, seems to be getting good exits out of that turn 1, and I think that's the key thing. And the guys are catching up towards the hairpin, but that's all really. So it's going to take a bold move, I think, perhaps around the outside if you're going to do it. And yeah, I'm not sure. I think all the drivers out there might be a little bit nervous now about points. I don't know where they all stand, but I reckon they're probably 4 times away from being disqualified from this race.
Jacobo Lopez is into the reverse grid position, so he's up to 24th. 12 cars will be reversed at the end of this session.
We go then.
Hunt positioning his car pretty well through the last couple of corners. He actually pulled out almost a car length over Wojciech Savidovic there with a good run through that final sector. And actually, you've got to wonder, is Job going to set up Savidovic, Adam, for a move into the hairpin?
Yeah, Job looks the closer at the moment out of Savidovic, Hunt and Job as they head through to the hairpin. Hunt defending the inside line once again. Savidovic tries to sell him a little bit of a dummy there, and I think that might just work to his... Yeah, it works to his advantage. He's right with the GTM Mega car as they head out the hairpin. Let's see what the slipstream's going to be like.
Katz is right under the rear wing of Sebastian Job's Kia Optima. But Leo Bodnar Motorsport, the number 1 car, pulls out from the slipstream, goes to the left.
Oh.
Job's very late on the brakes.
Wow.
Is he under control? Barely. Oh. Just about slight nudge on Savidovic.
And how did that not end in disaster there?
But it still keeps Daniel Hunt in second place. And this is what I was talking about earlier on. This is where the front tyres are just unresponsive. And you really have to plot your route around this Mid-Ohio sports car course extremely carefully. Just a few corners to go now.
Unless Daniel Hunt...
Job's made a mistake. He's gone wide. And Katz has gone through.
And Czepelewski will surely get through as well.
Oh, no, he won't.
And Katz, watch out.
Katz has avoided that somehow. Czepelewski on the grass, Job on the grass. Job's going to rejoin.
Meanwhile, Graham
potentially
Carroll.
a little unsafely. Ward trying to bash his way through, but Graham Carroll's taken the win for the first time since October 2014. He wins in the BSR Touring Car Championship.
Daniel Hunt second, whilst all that carnage was unfolding behind him. Wojciech Savidovic got third place in the end. Sebastian Job shown as fourth. No, Andreas Katz shown as fourth. Sebastian Job fifth. Stalin Czepelewski finished sixth in the end. Tom Ward seventh. Lee Thompson in 8th, David Baker 9th, and Ben Palmer rounds out the top 10. Crazy finish there. Yeah, sorry to cut you off at the end, Adam. Yeah. It was all going off for sort of 4th, 5th, 6th. I know the leader was obviously important. I mean, Alex, what do you make of that? I mean, for one hand, it was a very well-behaved race and a very good example of touring car race.
Yeah, you always knew on the last lap it was going to get a little bit tasty as the tail end of the field still comes across the start-finish line. A lot of battles going off all the way down, but yeah, crazy close there, and didn't quite see what happened on that last lap as we just jumped around the final corner. Well done, Pete. So get it, brought it home with his pad in his hospital bed. Fair play to that man.
It's some of the business from with the controller. Excellent work from Pete Newman. And you know what, that's valuable points, Adam, for his championship, because if you don't turn up at this point, we've seen what happened to Lee Thompson last week, we've seen what's probably going to happen to Jamie Rushworth. It's such a great job that Pete's actually here and competing. Well, it shows you these guys' commitment to the championship. Hospital bed, you think he'd be recuperating and trying to get back to full health, but no, he's committed to racing in this championship. And even though he comes across the line in 37th place, he is still scoring his team valuable points. Of course, if you finish on the lead lap or just one lap down, you will get classified points. So every point helps for Pete Newman Media. Let's run you through the results then from this opening race of the evening here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Graham Carroll takes the win, his first win since Bathurst back in October. Daniel Hunt second place with Wojciech Savidovic in third. Andreas Katz fourth. Sebastian Job in fifth. Stalin Czepelewski was second at one point, but he finished in sixth. Tom Ward seventh. Lee Thompson in 8th, David Baker in 9th, and Ben Palmer rounds out the top 10. 11th, Jerome Kaiser. 12th, Alex Malensky. He dropped back from 8th on the grid. 13th, James Nash. 14th, Steve Walker. 15th, Steve Hefford. 16th, Rob Fagg. 17th, Stephen Burke. 18th, Simon Field. 19th, Ellis Stevens. And 20th, it's Colin Cunniff. 21st was Richard Gore. 22nd from 36th on the grid, Jacobo Lopez at a circuit where it's notorious to overtake. I think that's a very good result from him. 23rd, Russell Laidler. 24th, Daniel Kraft. 25th, Stefan Hoog, and 26th, the last car to be reversed on the grid, is Robert Plumley. 27th, Paul Smith. 28th, Steve Richardson. 29th, Scott Malcolm. 30th, Jake Blackhall. 31st is Reggie Blaine. A return to the championship for him. I haven't seen him in a while. 32nd, Julian Janowski. Just seemed to be dropping places during the race. 33rd
is Laura Bond from last on the grid. 34th, Robert Graham. 35th, Andrew Whitehead. 36th, John Roberts. 37th, as we were saying, Pete Newman. 38th, Jamie Fluke. And then Blake Townend 1 lap down in 39th. And then I don't think Stanimir Zuzov took the start of the race. Well, Andrew, every car started, well, apart from Stanimir Zuzov, every car started the race. And it looked like everyone finished. A fantastic advert for this championship.
Yeah, amazing. And when you get such a large field, such a tight technical circuit, you do expect fireworks. And we definitely got it out there on the track, but it was the right kind of fireworks, Alex, and everyone just driving beautifully out there.
Yeah, great racing all round. I mean, we after sort of the first 5 or 6 laps, we didn't cover much beyond the top 5 there, but there was great battles throughout. Apologies for the drivers who were having titanic battles out there and have got no airtime. But as you can imagine, it's really difficult for us to break away. I mean, we were watching battles for 29th place at the start of that race that looked like they could be battling for the lead. It was so close out there. Great competition, and I'm really looking forward to the reverse grid, see how that spices it up.
Several race-winning drivers actually, Adam, down in those reverse grid positions, and Hoog, Plumley, Kraft, Laidler, Lopez, Cunniff, they've all won races. Ellie Stevens is a 2-time champion.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Stefan Hoog, Daniel Kraft, Russell Laidler, Adeko Lopez, those are the guys to watch. And I predict one, oh, here we go, commentator's curse. I predict one of those guys will be on the pole position for race 2. Adeko Lopez, I think he came close. Virginia, he was part of the reverse grid for race 2, and he was pretty close to taking a victory. I think he just had a bit of contact with, I think it was Laura Bond at one point. And then, getting involved there, Ellis Stevens, as you said, 2-time champion. Summonfield. I think this is a race meeting where we won't see the championship guys, the likes of Savidovic and Job, fighting their way through to being at the front. I think it's just too tight of a racetrack for that to happen.
Yeah, and the thing is, we saw in that race, potentially you can't get through without making a little bit of contact on occasion. So what I'll just do is run down the reverse grid order, as Alex will prepare, no doubt, the magic dice. Steve Hefford is 15th. Robert Fagg, 16th, Stephen Burke, 17th, Simon Field, 18th, 19th, Ellis Stevens, 20th, Colin Cunniff, a winner from Laguna Seca, Richard Gore, 21st, Adeko Lopez, 22nd, Russell Laidler, 23rd, Dan Kraft, 24th, Stefan Hoog, 25th, and Rob Plumley in 26th. Alex, whoever's going to be on pole, well, there's definitely some talent in that group.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's gonna be really difficult, like Adam said, for the guys at the front from the last race to get their way all the way up there again. Who knows what might happen? Might have a safety car. It's hard to tell. I've got a new magic dice this week as well. Not so much a dice anymore, but still, it's going to be fun. Looks a little bit different. Here we go. I'm going to do 3 little dummy rolls, and then we're going to pick a pole position out of the choices that come up on screen as well. So.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, well, you'll see. Tune in on the broadcast. You'll see it.
I will indeed.
Okay, so the first dummy roll up. Those are your options. I won't worry about reading those out right now. And the second roll, and this is the third roll. So potential pole sitters could be 18th, 23rd, 19th, and 16th. Who will get it? '18th.
Well, that was me wrong then. Simon Field is the car in 18th place, and he will be reversed onto pole position with Stephen Burke 2nd, Rob Fagg 3rd, Steve Hefford 4th, and Steve Walker in 5th. So all of those people that we listed, Andrew, saying that they're worthy race winners and will most likely take that race 2 victory, are all starting now back in the 20s on the grid.
Good grief, I know. I mean, it's almost impossible on it. I mean, Alex, I think with the IndyCar, you've had the most experience out of the 3 of us on this course, and it's very difficult, isn't it, to fight your way through from a mistake, or even if you know, bad qualifying or bad grid start.
I think that's really going to be the story of the next 2 races. Actually, just trying to get through as much as you can while staying relatively safe, so that you don't, put a wheel off here or there. It's very easy to lose a lot of time in and around, when you're battling. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to be interested to see how the next one plays out, and then make some predictions for race race 3, I think.
Well, I have to say that is one cool looking reverse grid dice, Alex. Well, not reverse grid dice now. It's more of a.
We're going to have to come up with a new name for it. The random number generating O-matic. We're going to have to figure out something. I'll tell you what we will figure out, though, is when the next race is going to come on, and that's going to be in about a quarter of an hour's time. So we will see you back here on Motors TV right after this break.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race. So you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Nick Candy, what a move. Truex on the outside, contact made. 56 slides in at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back everyone to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. It's round 50 of the season from Mid-Ohio. It's round 2 of the evening here on Motors TV and live on the Apex Racing TV YouTube channel. Andrew Woodhouse with Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. And Alex, we saw a really well-driven first race tonight.
Great first race, really enjoyed that as well. Just sets it up for the second and third races, I'm sure. So just looking at weather conditions out there, slightly changed a little bit, but for the most part I think still going to be the same. Track temperature probably going to be a little bit cool, but it is blistering sunshine out there now, so I think the temperature will pick up a little bit. Maybe those tyres that we were speaking about earlier on, I think they might be just a little bit worse this time. Lap times look a tiny bit slower from the last race, but not a great deal. So yeah, we'll have to watch those people who are struggling at the end of the race.
38 degrees track temperature, Adam, and we're really going to see who can keep the boots intact.
Yeah, it's going to be watch for those final few laps. That's all I'm going to say. That's going to be surely very entertaining when some of those guys who might not have looked after their tyres fall off the cliff. Well, 18 cars were reversed for this second race of the evening. Let's see how they'll line up. On the pole position, it is Simon Fields with Stephen Burke alongside him. Robert Fagg in third position with Steve Hefford in fourth. Steve Walker is in fifth with James Nash in sixth. Alex Smolensky in seventh. Sharon Kaiser in eighth. Ben Palmer in ninth. And David Baker rounds out the top 10. 11th is Lee Thompson with Tom Ward in 12th. Stelian Chepelevsky is in 13th with Sebastian Job in 14th. Andreas Katz 15th. Wojciech Savidovic 16th. 17th Daniel Hunt in 18th. Our race 1 winner Graham Carroll. 19th Ellis Stevens. And 20th it is Colin Cunniff. Then 21st Richard Gore. 22nd Adeko Lopez. 23rd Russell Laidler. 24th Daniel Kraft. And 25th Stefan Hoog. So quite a few big names there in the 20s. 26th Robert Plumley. 27th Paul Smith. 28th Steve Richardson. 30th Jake Blackhall. 31st Reggie Blaine. 32nd Julian Janowski. 33rd Laura Bond. 34th Robert Graham. 35th Andrew Whitehead. 36th John Roberts. 37th Pete Newman. 38th Jamie Fluke. And then 39th and 40th are Blake Townend and Stanimir Zuzov. Any penalties getting carried over to this race, Andrew?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone is. I think everyone's been on their best behaviour, to be honest, and that's always good to see. Alex Simon Field on pole position. Field has won 4 times already this season. He's going for his 5th win here. It was mired down in the midfield a little bit in the first race. What realistically are his chances of taking this one?
Yeah, I think actually he's got a great opportunity. We know how fast Field is, and he's won a few races where he's had some not so good first races and been reversed onto the sort of the front row. So I think he stands a great chance. This one, there's a lot of competition around him though. The grid is crazy close today, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. But if, like the last race, say 2nd and 3rd place start battling hard, that will let him scamper away, just as Carroll did in that first one.
Yeah, it really speaks to the strength of this field, that it was so close in race 1 and that we continue to bring 40 car grids. Remember, we're not that far away from going to Spa-Francorchamps, where it's going to be a 60 car field. Adam, that could get very, very interesting indeed, especially up towards Licoum.
I think I remember back in either Season 6 or Season 7 when we just started covering the championship, it was an overcast race at Spa-Francorchamps with practically a 50-car grid, and going into Eau Rouge was pretty mental, and I'm sure, well, it'll probably be exactly the same, especially if they put an overcast condition race in there. Just also 11 incident limit, as we were saying during the first race. No disqualifications whatsoever. I remember at Silverstone a few weeks ago we had about 10 cars getting disqualified, so great job by the drivers there to not get any disqualifications in that first race. As the warm-up session is over, we're not too far away from getting the green light here for the second race of the evening.
No, and I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be excellent. Simon Field starting from pole, ahead of Stephen Burke, his teammate in Peter Newman Media, and actually Pete Newman as well himself. He's going to be starting somewhere around the back half of the circuit, at least by the time this grid's formed up.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we saw that in the first race as well. Just 1 car less this time, only 38, so I'm not sure who we've lost from the last race. But we have nonetheless. And
doesn't look like Blake Townend has appeared for this one.
No.
And then we will have lost Zuzov as well.
Yeah, Zuzov, yeah. So the 2 cars that finished at the back of the grid. Jamie Rushworth, by the way, has dropped 3 positions in the Drivers' Championship, down to 7th place.
Right then. So, just a few seconds away from finding out who's going to win race 2 in this tight confines of this Ohio circuit. Red lights are on here.
Green, green, green.
And the green light is on for round 50. The 2 Pete Newman Media cars got an absolutely belting start. They're flying away from Robert Fagg in 3rd, who covers the line on Steve Walker. Hefford is in 5th for Leo Bodner. He's coming round the outside. And then you've got... he's putting a lot of pressure on Walker actually towards the hairpin.
Great job by everyone, managing to get around the first few corners. Well, the first corner without incident, side by side there. That is Steve Walker getting passed by Alex Smolensky. So good job from Smolensky already.
Oh, we've got one of the Apex cars up and around, caused a little bit of a bottleneck at the hairpin. One of the Pete Newman Media cars, that's Dan Kraft, caught up in that as well. So yeah, not great for Kraft there, but I'm not really sure what the issue was there. It just looked like a few slow cars going through the hairpin there.
Yeah, it was the 97 car of Jake Blackwell. Reggie Blaine was involved as well. Looks like it was just those three. Oh, and the Laser Tools car as well. I think that's Scotty Malcolm in the wall. So, Malcolm with damage. A couple of guys having to go back to the pits. And on lap 1, Simon Field has the lead over his teammate Steve Burke. Now, it's an important job, isn't it, Alex, for Field to do, for Burke to do, to keep everyone behind him and away from Simon Field.
Oh, it looks like, James Nash just having a little moment in the penultimate corner there as well. He's actually got himself a slowdown penalty for that, which is
going all the way.
Yeah, which is a bit. He'll be very annoyed about that, I'm sure, because if anything, there was a little tap that pushed him to the inside there. So
he's lost about 15 positions, Alex, from that.
Down into 20th now. You're right. He'll be gutted with that. So, it's looking very tasty
I can
up
hear some
front.
contact.
Oh, there's two little packs actually started to form up. Sorry,
Dave Baker. There is some contact now. I don't know what that is.
That's Chipolewski and it's not Ben Palmer.
Ward?
Is it Ward? Yeah, I think it's
Ben
Tom
Palmer's
Ward.
in the orange car.
Yeah, trying to get past Tom Ward as they head down the back straight, and Chepelewski's having to keep a watchful eye of the Apex car. 3 wide nearly in the background there. Chepelewski trying to get past
Job's coming
Job
up
down
the inside, but he's trying to make it 3 wide. Again, very risky, but he's made it stick cleanly. Savidovic 3 wide with Coba Lopez and Graham Carroll as well. That's 3 very quick drivers in a sandwich.
Crazy racing here. Great job by Lee Thompson to get out of it going into that right hander. He's still side by side with the champion Andreas Katz, and the contact with Daniel Hunt between Katz and Hunt. Those two side by side as well. They're all starting to sort each other out. They're still side by side there between Savidovic and who's that there now?
They're sorting each
Graham
other
Carroll.
out, right?
Yeah.
As in this first lap, they're really getting they're really working the jab and trying to find the range, Alex, it looks like, for this boxing match on this very tight course.
Yeah, crazy start there. We always knew it was going to be a little bit more frantic this time, with the faster guys trying to work their way through. But so far, so good. We've lost Pete Newman, unfortunately. Doesn't look like he's...
Hospital's had a power cut.
Sorry, battle for second place. There was a contact between Burke and Fag. Burke nearly getting turned around, and now they're side by siding into the corner.
That goes Burke.
Was that Smolenski?
No, it was Walker, Steve Walker.
Okay.
And Burke making contact, but Robert Fagg turned in. He didn't really help the situation much, I don't think. But Smolenski, now the aforementioned, in the Laser Tools car with the Scottish flag on its roof, you can see the Bulgarian. And Fagg on the inside of Hefford. That was forceful, but I think it was also illegal. To be honest, I think he went off the course and into Kaiser.
Well, that's the end of Fag's race, and that was all really messy
well,
there.
It's not, 'cause he's going again. He's
just got a bit scrappy, hasn't it? All of a sudden, guys
starting to
just
Steve Walker involved as Kaiser off in the gravel as well.
It's always Kaiser that gets hit. Every week it's your own Kaiser. We saw it in Laguna Seca, Alex. You see him rolling and hating, and now he just got crippled with a hit on the left front.
Well, let's have a look at the positions afterwards. Alex Smolenski now into second place. Steve Hefford is now in third with Tom Ward in fourth. David Baker in fifth. And Palmer sixth. Sebastian Job seventh. So great job from him. Chepelewski in eighth.
Sorry, just saying, Ellis Stevens is in the middle of that field and Smolenski, but he's a lap down. So the season 1 and 2 champion has had a bit of a bad start to this race. He won a race last time out at Laguna. A good start from Hefford, though, in third.
Yeah, and somehow he was able to he was able to benefit, really, from all the contact going down into this right-hander a lap ago. Got a bit of distance between himself and Tom Ward. Tom Ward 0.3 of a second ahead of David Baker, who could be one to watch here, as well as the battle pack in the background between Ben Palmer and Sebastian Job. Job looking to the outside as we head into the right-hander. Ben Palmer good on the brakes, but Sebastian Job is close right onto the back of him. Looks down the inside, but just not enough room there. And Sebastian Job, unlike in race 1, doesn't seem to barge his way through.
Well, Ben Palmer is a one-time race winner, so he's not going to give up that position easily. Alex, what did you make of that down into turn 4? Was it a bit ambitious from Robert Fagg?
Yeah, possibly, but I think these early laps you're always going to be a little bit more tempted to go for it. But yeah, in the end, I think
nearly made it.
Yeah, I think in the end the defending was quite aggressive as well, so you could probably put it down to Racing Instant, but we'll have to wait for the officials to make the call on that one. But
Steve did kind of push him over on the grass, I guess, and Feig was steaming him, not really under much control.
Yeah, that was the problem, I think, really. And then, all three cars really got collected in that, so it's unfortunate. And poor Kaiser was just the innocent victim at the top of the crest.
Tell you who's made a good start, Adam, is Adecobo Lopez in 12th position. He's up from 22nd on the grid, and he's made a good move early on. He's actually got the jump on Savidovic, who started 6 places ahead of him.
Yeah, fantastic job from Lopez, and after starting at the back in race 1, able to get through to 12th place at the moment, holding on to Savidovic, and now closing in on that battle pack in front of him. Daniel Hunt, Andreas Katz, Lee Thompson and Stelin Chepelevsky as they're side by side further up in front. That is Steve Hefford and Tom Ward battling for a position as well as Ben Palmer is all over the place once again. He's got Sebastian Job for company heading into the right-hander. Job is going to get a good run through there. Is he able to use any of it though to his advantage? Not really. Look at this train of cars going through the right-hander, all going over that big bit of curve, incidentally going through now this right-hander down towards the final section of corners. All single file at the moment. Chepelevsky holding off Thompson. Thompson is the Apex Racing car with the blue bit on the front of the bonnet as we head into the right-hander. David Baker just ahead of Ben Palmer and closing in on Tom Ward. So basically, third place on back is all single file and nose to tail.
Ellis is going to have fun letting these guys through, Alex, I think.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and unfortunately, once he lets one go, that's it. It's just he might as well park it up on the side of the road and wait for the rest of the pack to go by. They're just so closely at the minute. It's just ridiculous.
Because as long as he doesn't lose another lap, he's going to score points for his team, so he needs to finish.
A little bit of contact through the hairpin.
Side by side, it's Lopez and Hunt.
Pete Newman's back out there, so that's good.
Lopez
one lap
through.
down.
Lopez through into 11th place, so he's just got past Dan Hunt. I wonder if Dan Hunt might return the favour. Is there anyone?
Oh, it's close ahead as well between Hefford and Tom Ward as well. Ward around the outside. Is he going to make this one stick?
He's going to have the inside for this tight one over the top of the hill, but then he's going to have the outside for the next one, but he can't overtake into that right-hander.
Good move from Ward there, round the outside. That's really where he made that move work, and then it just he had track position from there.
And now he should, Adam, be able to pull a little lead over this group and go after Smolensky.
Yes, he has.
Chepelevsky and Job side by side. Chepelevsky trying to take the place away from the Apex Racing TV car.
And while we're looking at that, I don't know whether Lopez...
Chepelevsky's off.
Yeah, Chepelevsky
and
back on.
Into nobody, as that's a miracle.
Katz now trying to get past Lee Thompson, side by side, those two through the final corner. Katz will have the outside line, and he's all right with them. That's pretty close there, but I think Lee Thompson will have the inside line for turn 1. He does have the inside line, and he is now in 9th place. Down to 10th goes Andreas Katz. Adecobo Lopez, incidentally, has dropped back to 16th place, so something must have happened there for him.
Yeah, in 2014, Lee Thompson competed in the iRacing.com World Championship Series, and he's looking to try to become a champion of this series now.
Battle for 4th between Steve Hefford and David Baker, yes, as we head down the back straight. Hefford positioning his car in the middle of the racetrack. Baker going down the inside, but Hefford just closes the door just at the right moment. Baker will have the run through the right-hander. Will he have a lunge down the inside into the left-hander? No, does not close enough. Harry did have a go there.
Thought about it there, Alex. It's somewhere where you can surprise people.
Yeah, absolutely. Craft on Whitehead here as well, just making a little contact into turn 3 there. Again, no chance to make a move over the top of the hill. That's a bit further back. That's a battle for 25th and 26th place there.
That's 2 race winners battling over 25th and 26th. With Steve Richardson, another race winner, in front of them as well. And actually, Kraft's got a good run over the crest. They do hit each other ever so slightly. And Whitehead's got his hands forward trying to defend from the Peter Newman media car of Dan Kraft, who loses the rear a little bit going through that medium speed left-hander, and that allowed Whitehead to retain 25th place. And it's all very tight in and around the back end of the top 10 as well. Palmer now is going to be under pressure from Job.
Chepelevsky on Job as well.
Cradle there, and Palmer with a good save coming through the hairpin.
But Chepelevsky
Job's
gets
got
the
nowhere to go, and he's going to still try and force his way through on the grass, Adam.
Chepelevsky gets both of those positions, and now it's Apex Racing cars going side by side down the back straight. I'm sure these guys will be pretty cautious. Lee Thompson on the inside line, Sebastian Job on the outside, and look at that, Andreas Katz trying to get past
No,
both
that's not
through the
never going to
middle.
work in a million years.
Oh no!
That was poor.
And that's Job.
Really
Job, it
bloody
always
poor.
happens to Job, and Job is back. Oh no! Be careful!
And that'll be a penalty.
And
That is a slam dunk penalty for
right,
unsafe rejoin.
I mean, it'll be frustrating for Sebastian because he's just, he's had somebody stick his nose in the middle of a 3-wide situation that was absolutely ridiculous.
I have absolutely no idea what Andreas Katz was doing there and trying to accomplish.
Yeah, but in return, you just can't join the track like that.
Yeah,
You
he's
just,
No, you can't. No.
he was lucky he didn't take his teammates out there. There were two
He
of them.
almost took out. Was it Richard Gore? And
James Nash. And James Nash.
Oh, and actually Gore's off now, so I don't know. No, in fact, he did get damage from that incident. And I believe he's just had a contact with Russell Laidler, possibly. Let's have a little look at that one. Oh, yeah, he's actually run into Rusty Laidler there. So, not the best lap for Apex Racing TV, Alex, at all, Mr. Team Principal.
No, just all fell apart there, and I have to contain myself.
Luckily, though, no one can blame you for a change.
No, true.
So it's good.
Yeah, just watching the replay there for Richard, so he's got a fair bit of damage on the front right there, but still,
Is that just a bit of annoyance, do you think, on Gore's part, possibly?
I don't know there, but I mean, he survived. I think that's the main thing.
The important thing is that we survived, yes, indeed. And Simon Field leads Adam by 3.5 seconds, but Sebastian will be annoyed with that. But Andreas Katz just put his car in a position where nothing good was ever going to come of it.
No. As the old saying goes, 3 into 1 doesn't go, and those two are, well, in all fairness to Andreas Katz, just going to put it here, the Apex Racing cars did look a bit cautious, like they were going, oh, after you,
Yep.
you don't want to get involved in any contacts here, and I think Katz sensed an opportunity there and went for it, but unfortunately, they all had to funnel into that. They had to funnel into that right-hander, and
He's gone off a
Sebastian,
little bit there, and actually, he almost opened the door for Savinovic. Thompson looks like he's having trouble with his tyres now.
Baker closing in on Hefford as well. I need to stop. I need to change the camera angle.
Oh, Katz is going through on Thompson. Almost.
more contact then between Katz and the Apex cars, and this is Sebastian Joby managed to get into the top 10 in the points, but I don't know whether this 29th place position is going to hamper those.
Savinovic and Katz making contact now at the hairpin.
And that's going to allow Hunt through.
And maybe Chepelevsky as well, is it?
Chepelevsky's through, yeah, definitely.
Chepelevsky's through.
And as we head down the straight.
That's Graham Carroll as well.
Sorry, it's
actually,
Graham Carroll, it's not Chepelevsky, is it? Very similar from the front there, so apologies to Graham.
Chepelevsky's down the inside of Baker, in fact, so Chepelevsky up into the top 5 now.
Katz still having a look on Thompson. And Hunt, Nash and Cunniff going side by side. Colin Cunniff, who won race 3 at Laguna Seca, he's in 15th place, and he's 14th place now, as he's just dispatched with James Nash, not the touring car driver, James Nash.
Out of 8th place is definitely the one to watch at the moment. Lee Thompson, Andreas Katz, Daniel Hunt, Graham Carroll, Wojciech Savinovic and Adej Koba-Lopez all in the line here as they head through the left-hander. When we get to London, I think there's 4 laps to go now. Simon Field just coming across the line. Look how close this is. Thompson taking a wide line into that final corner and then onto the front straight. Andreas Katz is right with him. And in the background, the cars at the back of this pack, Adej Koba-Lopez and Wojciech Savinovic, they're right with each other as well.
You said, Adam, it'd be difficult for these guys to make their way through. Lopez got up to 13th place from 22nd on the grid after only about 3 laps. And since then, he's not made any progress at all. It shows the quality of this field. You see Russell Laidler just behind this group, trying to make a move on Nash, I believe. And going through in the hairpin is Laidler. And yeah, he slots in behind Colin Cunniff. So good move by the GT Omega driver. And he's going to set about the friction racing car now, Alex.
Yeah, he's going to get a good run as well down the straight, although Nash is trying to fight his way back, has a little go over the cones there, just trying to cut the distance there, late on the brakes, can't make anything happen. The Lear Bodnar car there of Hoog is ready to pounce as well.
That's a much better way of doing it,
Sorry.
I think.
Katz and Thompson battling, and now Katz shoved out wide, and Daniel Hunt's now going to be side by side. This surely's not going to go well.
And then they've just about avoided disaster. Well, they did,
Oh,
until Graham Carroll appeared. and hits
Savidovic off,
Hunt. Savidovic, yeah,
but he's
well
avoided the wall, so that's all fine.
Yeah, Savidovic has only lost one position out of that, but he's going to have dirt on his tyres and a charging Jacobo Lopez.
A bit of damage on the front right, looking at that as well. So it's
Yep.
not what he will have wanted, especially like you say with Colin Cunniff and Laidler, Nash all coming up behind him as well.
Yeah, I had some front right damage on my car yesterday, and it's not what you want around here, definitely. And meanwhile, Tom Ward's closing within 1.2 of Smolenski. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, Katz again had a good run going into the first of the hairpin, couldn't quite make it work. Lee went a little bit wide. Looks like Katz has got a great exit out of there as well. Surely this time there's no traffic around him, it's just a straight on fight.
Well, let's see if he can get past one Apex Racing car in this second race. He's going to the outside.
Ooh.
Thompson all cuts across, does very tight indeed into the right-hander. Katz will probably swoop round the outside. Is there
It's gone wide though.
But surely he has the inside line, and that is a done deal. So Andreas Katz through into 8th place.
Yeah, it's took him a while, and he definitely paid a price for his earlier attempt, but he's through. But you've got to wonder if I think he's going to take a penalty as well, if I'm honest, for the next round. I'm not sure where the next round is.
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen is, thank you. As Thompson in 9th now, behind Katz. Lopez is 10th. Sorry, Lopez is 11th. Hunt's in 10th now. Savidovic in 12th.
Yeah, I think Sweden is actually in 13th, so they're 11th, 12th and 13th, yes, they come across the line.
Penultimate lap then. Close battle at the moment, 4th, 10th and 2nd between David Baker, Steve Hefford and Ben Palmer. However, in the background, Jacobo Lopez is starting to put some pressure on Daniel Hunt. 2 tenths of a second between them as they head down to the hairpin. Not close enough there for Lopez to get anything done. However, as we head through the final head through the hairpin, will the Power Max car be able to get a run? I don't think he's close enough really, but we'll see how useful the slipstream is to the Season 5 champion as we head down the straight.
Yeah, he didn't really get a great exit there, and he's not really close enough to Dan Hunt to make a move into turn 4, but there is side-by-side action there with Robert Plumley and
Jamie Fluke.
Jamie Fluke, yep. So Fluke, who started in 38th place, is actually up to 18th, and that's a really good effort from him. And Rob Plumley, 26th to 17th, that's equally as good, Alex.
Yeah, great performance so far. I mean, we said this second race would probably be the hardest one to get the moves done, so just to move up that many places, what an awesome job.
Both men in the reverse grid spots. The final one at the moment belongs to John Roberts, but he's under a lot of pressure from former race winner Steve Walker.
Sorry, Daniel Craft.
Dan Craft dropping down the order. Sorry, Andrew, I didn't mean to try and cut you off there, but just all of a sudden, just dropping down the list. I'm just going to have a little look back, see what it might have been. So we're just coming up through turn 4. Does he stick his nose in the inside there? Is there any contact? Is it? We're looking at a potential disqualification here. I'm not sure. Well, there was contact, and I think that is going to done. Yes, it is exactly that. Makes contact, reaches his instant limit, and gets himself disqualified.
Graham Carroll's just been barged out of the way. Actually, no, Graham Carroll's just barged out of the way. Lee Thompson. So the Friction Racing car through into 9th place. Lee Thompson now down to 10th place.
Yeah, Lee's getting beaten up out there a little bit, isn't he, Alex? And you know, it's what it's like when other aggressive drivers are around you, I guess.
Yeah, I think for Lee's point of view, he just needs to make sure he finishes all 3 races tonight in a relatively strong place. That'll be what he needs to do to break back into the top 10. So I feel like once Katz got that run, he sort of didn't fight it as hard as you would expect, and yeah, he's kind of he took a little knock there, but he didn't fight Carroll too much. So important for Lee is to finish, but he's being hunted down now by Daniel Hunt. But it is the last race. I can't see Hunt being able to get a move done in the time as our leader's about to cross the start-finish line.
He is indeed, and Simon Field is going to come across. He started on pole position. He's led every lap. And Simon Field takes round 50 of the season here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in the United States. Alex Smolenski in 2nd, Tom Ward in 3rd, with Chepelevsky in 4th, Baker in 5th, Palmer 6th, and then a good close battle at the end between Hefford and Katz. Hefford just about gets 7th place on the line, Katz 8th, Carroll 9th, Thompson in 10th, Lopez 11th, Hunt in 12th, and then it's Savidovic, Cuniff, Laidler, Nash, Plumley, Fluke, Hoog, and Janowski in the top 20.
Simon Field taking his 5th race victory of the season there, and that will move him up onto the same amount of bonus points as Jamie Rushworth, I do believe. And good to see him take another win. The car's eligible for the reverse grid then. 16th on back. James Nash, Robert Plumley, Jamie Fluke, Stefan Hoog, Julian Janowski, Richard Gore, Steve Richardson, Robert Graham, Andrew Whitehead, John Roberts, and then getting into the reverse grid placings on the last lap of the race, Sebastian Jobe. Could he get on that pole position for the final race of the evening? We'll find out very shortly.
It'll be the perfect tonic for him after a poor, poor end to race 2.
I think the hot temperatures in the second race showed really on the racetrack.
Yeah, they did, and it was hot temperatures inside many of the cockpits as well, Alex, I think.
Yeah, I think the opening laps there really just sort of set the tone. There was definitely a bit bumping and barging, and everybody sort of followed suit from there. So, but I think we always expected that from the second race, the reverse grid. You need to get your elbows out a little bit if you're going to try and make some sort of progression. Perhaps guys just to be doing some over eager moves, shall we say, in there. I'll bite my tongue.
One thing I'll say as well, Alex, is that's the first time we've seen the incident limit in effect and seen the disqualification here. So that's, for all the viewers at home, that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't see that. We didn't see that last week, but there you go. The driver just disappearing out, and that's just if you make contact or go off the track too many times, lose control, you reach your instant limit. Just the server just removes you from the race straight away like that. No questions, done. You're out of there.
Yep, and then you finish on the lap that you were on when you were disqualified. Adam, we didn't think it was a terrific season for Simon Field up until maybe about a month or so ago, and then in the last few meetings he's come forward, he's snuck into a few and taken a few very impressive wins. Yeah,
he's slowly working his way up through the championship as well. I think we saw him being high up with the standings back in Season 5 and Season 6, back driving then for Engine Oils Direct and AAA, to do believe. So
yeah, and he should have probably won the Season 7 championship as well.
Yeah, driving for Pinot Media Team, who had a very strong season then, I do believe, or was that Season 8? Well, one of those two.
It was because he missed a week, didn't he? And he ended up behind Baker and behind Smolensky as well, who had the chance.
Yeah. Going into the final race meeting at Alton Park, that was when it all went. It really showed there, and then it was between Smolensky and Baker for the title. So yeah, he could have had a shot at winning it, but with this showdown championship laid out the way it is, taking his 5th race victory of the season, there's no reason why he couldn't be lifting the championship in November. Alex, over to you for the reverse grid.
Very much, gents. Right, so 3 dummy rolls just to prove it's not artificial as well, just as some people probably caught the tail end of it last time. So there's still, just to talk about the dice for a second, it may well be updated for the next round. Right, that's 2 dummy rolls over. The 4 positions that are up for grabs are 22nd, 21st, 18th and 25th, and then to take the pick and see who's going to get it. '21st.
Richard Gore goes on to pole position with Julian Janowski alongside him, Stefan Hoog in 3rd, Jamie Fluke in 4th, and Robert Plumley in 5th position.
Surely that'll make Apex Racing TV feel a lot better. Anyway, yeah. There's all sorts going on the chat between Andreas Katz and Sebastian Jobe there. And I'm sorry, Andreas, if you're watching this back, I just can't agree with you there. He's saying that the car Thompson didn't leave him any room. I think he was trying to find room where there wasn't any.
Alex, do we have the ability to go back and have a look at the incident?
I think we should, because we might get a different perspective on it.
We'll find what lap it's on.
Yeah, let me know, and I will find it. Where are we?
It wasn't lap 9, it was earlier than that, I believe.
Lap 7? I think this is the aftermath of it here. Lap 8, I think, on your screen. Let's have a quick look. See if this is it. Yeah, this looks like it might be
Beginning of lap 8, yeah. So what happens? Right, there's the bunch up between Ben Palmer, Smolensky, and Job going into the right-hander. And this allows the run for Andreas Katz and Lee Thompson going down the back straight.
I'm going to go on board with Katz just to try and see it from his point of view.
There's never any room there. I'm sorry.
Because obviously I'm very biased. I'm not going to shy away from that fact. But on board now, there's no
room there. I'm sorry.
There's not any room to go up the inside of Sebastian. There was only room to go alongside Lee. He should have got out of that there and then. As a like I say, I'm always going to have a bit of a biased opinion, but I would have a drive-through penalty in the World Championship if I did that based on the rules that are in play on that. It's just not must.
There's no gap there. There's no opportunity to go through, and Kat should know better really after all these races, I believe. And I'll just get this straight. Like I said, I've driven for Apex Racing TV. So has Adam. Alex is the team principal, but that even saying that is a poor bit of driving from Andreas Katz. And it's actually a poor bit of driving by Seb to come back on the track where he did.
Yep, can't.
And actually, I think he took out as well. And he did inadvertently take out Richard Gore because Gore got hit by, I think it was Lopez, Adam, over the top of the hill, and then Carroll got hit as well, I think.
Yeah, Job just gets really scrappy redriving at the track there. So blame on both parts.
Could have turned around the corner a bit further and rejoined.
Yep. Yeah, that's what you needed to do, unfortunately. There, like you say, you just needed to slow it right down and then rejoin as they were going back down the hill. The cars would have been clear.
Of course,
I think the trouble was he came back on
rejoin.
Yeah, he came back on the actual apex of the corner as well, a 90-degree angle. So people were always going to run into him. So. I'm sure that was just pure frustration on his part, but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the officials will take a pretty dim view on that as well. So
I think both of them will take a penalty,
and rightly so. I'm afraid, just to keep my, sort of unbiased hat on if I can there. But that deserves a penalty as well. But
I've got a bold prediction for Watkins Glen. I think they'll both be sat on the back row next to each other at the very beginning of the race. But that's why you've got to plan your championship, Adam, a little bit better than that, haven't you? You get a silly penalty. I mean, we've got to make it clear no penalties have been given yet. But
the officials review them, don't they? So
yes,
and there's a panel that look at them, and then it's put to basically it's almost like a vote, isn't it? And then if there's drivers get enough votes against them, then that's when they get they'll get the penalty for the next race, and that'll be something like a grid penalty or something like that.
And that's usually probably it will be a back of the grid penalty. I think the most lenient one they do is often
they do a 10
place grid penalty. Yes. Well, just looking at the championship, that 26th position for Sebastian Job hasn't hindered his championship too much thanks to Jamie Rushworth not being here. He's still in 8th position in the championship. Pete Newman's 37th place finish with a 0 point in that race means he's now down to 9th, and Jamie Rushworth is now down to 10th position in the standings, with Lee Thompson bearing ever closer to getting inside the top 10. So Lee Thompson, if he has another strong finish in race 3, could be up inside that top 10.
Yeah, I think he can, and he's got every chance of a strong finish again in race 3. It's going to be difficult. I mean, Richard Gore's on pole, 21st place. Some good names behind him, but again, we're getting to the point, Alex, now with this series where you're not going to find good names at the front, even of a reverse grid.
Yeah, no, I think. I mean, as we've seen this series go on, actually, certainly the grid orders are starting to blur quite a lot, and we say big names and things like that, but when we look at the main qualifying, they're only separated by half a second. It's not like they're not quick anyway. So, and I think this is actually what causes some of the the elbows out driving a little bit as well, is because it's so difficult for them to get past that they have to go for some of these more aggressive moves, and I think the the officials, like say, they'll get hold of it, and drivers start to realise that actually they need to just to be a bit more patient.
Yep. Race 2 was a cracker here at Mid-Ohio. We'll be back after the break for Race 3 here on Motors TV and also live on YouTube.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio for round 3 of the evening in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series presented by Engine Oil Direct. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Alex Simpson with you from this very challenging track that's seen 2 very good races so far. We've got Richard Gore on pole position, Adam, for race 3. And you know what? The gloves could well be off, couldn't they?
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the grid for the third and final race of the evening. Yeah, big variety here. First on the grid, Richard Gore. Second, Julian Janowski. Third, Stefan Hoog. Stefan Hoog being a bit quiet tonight. Fourth, Jamie Fluke. Fifth, Robert Plumley. Sixth, James Nash. Seventh, Russell Laidler. Eighth, Colin Cunniff. Ninth, Wojciech Savidovic. Savidovic could be in there. 10th, Daniel Hunt. 11th, Jacobo Lopez. 12th, Lee Thompson. 13th, for our race 1 winner, Graham Carroll. 14th, Andreas Katz. 15th, Steve Hefford. 16th, Ben Palmer. 17th, David Baker. 18th, Stelin Shepelevsky. 19th, Tom Ward. 20th, Alex Malensi. And 21st, Simon Fields. 22nd, Steve Richardson. 23rd, Robert Graham. 24th, Andrew Whitehead. 25th, John Roberts. 26th, Sebastian Joe. 27th, Steve Walker. 28th, Scott Malcolm. 29th, Stephen Burke. And then 30th, Laura Bond. 31st, Jake Blackhall. 32nd, Paul Smith. 33rd, Jerome Kaiser. 34th, Reggie Blaine. 35th, Ellis Stevens. 36th, Daniel Kraft. 37th, Pete Newman. And 38th, Robert Fagg. Savidovic starting in about 9th position on the grid. That could be close enough for him to possibly mount a challenge to lead. It all depends, though, on how if Richard Gore can pull a lead like Simon Field and Graham Carroll did.
It could indeed, Adam. You can breathe now.
Yeah, I was looking at the timer going, right, we've got a minute to go to the race, and here we go, 14 laps.
Can breathe now, but not for much longer. Red lights are on at Mid-Ohio.
Green, green, green.
And for the final time tonight, the green light is on. Richard Gore got a good start actually from the pole position. And Janowski alongside Stefan Hoog into turn 1. Hoog trying to go through, and off goes Janowski.
Janowski off.
Into
Anyone
the
else
wall.
off?
No, just
Everyone else
Janowski on his
clean.
own into the wall. Oh, and there's a big one in the background now.
Ben Palmer.
And Hefford, I think, have both gone.
Well, they ended up on the other side of the track, or are they in the tyre wall?
On the infield section, so I think they're okay. Someone else is off as well, and that is Colin Cunniff, who got together, I believe, with Plumley.
And Reggie off as well.
Blaine having a bad meeting. Savidovic having a little look on James Nash into turn 4, and he's in 5th place, is Nash now.
And Savidovic under pressure from Lopez, and Lopez is through, so Lopez through into 6th position, but Savidovic back down the inside. Season 5 and Season 6 champions going at it here through the left-hander, and Savidovic has to submit.
Sebastian Job's been off, and he's been hit now by Steve Richardson.
Well, Andreas Katz is in 34th place as well, so he was the one who must have had contact with Ben Palmer.
And off goes Laura Bond, but she's recovered. Richard Gore leading then. 2nd is Jamie Fluke. 3rd, Stefan Hoog. Then 4th, Rusty Laidler. 5th, James Nash.
Tom Ward as well got some problems there. He's slowed to an absolute standstill and has actually managed to bring it back into pit lane there. I'm not sure what happened to the Friction Racing driver there as well, but we just saw a little glimpse of him on the left of your screen, just slowing down to a halt there.
Yeah, and you see the whole group filing through turns 1 and 2.
Well, what a race we've got on our hands now. Richard Gore hasn't been able to pull out too much of an advantage, only 0.4 of a second over Jamie Fluke, with Stefan Hoog in 3rd position, and Russell Layla and James Nash coming with Ade Coba Lopez in 6th position. So what a race we've got on our hands already. 2 laps in, down into the right-hander. Jamie Fluke just not close enough to get past Richard Gore, but Stefan Hoog is probably the quickest driver out of these guys at the moment. Jamie Fluke, a bit of an unknown entity, only been in the championship a few race meetings, but Stefan Hoog in the Leo Bodner car really sitting pretty at the moment in 3rd.
Yeah, Stefan Hoog, he's won many races in this series, and he's closing in on the back of Fluke, who's closing in on Richard Gore, who goes a little bit wide, gets a bit of understeer over the crest in the middle sector. Just a couple of corners left on this particular lap, lap 2 of 14.
Oh, he's hit him.
Oh,
Lopez has hit Nash.
Nash has gone off.
And he's
going to
coming back
rejoin in front of Plumley.
It is so hard to rejoin on these on this circuit.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio, so much grass. Oh no, Plumley up on 2 wheels. I think he's got away with it. I hope he hasn't got any suspension damage there.
And now Lee Thompson is side by side with the 72 car. That is Steve Hefford. He's already Lee Thompson's had enough really of those cars really tonight, side by side as we head into the right-hander.
Yeah, Leo Bodner cars. They'll be popping up in his dreams tonight, or his nightmares, one or the other. Richard Gore now having to defend from Jamie Fluke. Jamie Fluke's been very quick since he's been here in BSRTC.
Yeah, we've just seen someone going off at the hairpin. I'm not sure who that was. One of the STEM racing
He's having a look.
Guys.
Fluke's having a look for the lead.
Side by side, the Apex Racing car and the Power Max car, and Fluke has got the outside, but Richard Gore will lunge it back up the inside, but I think Fluke will have the inside line. Oh, he's going across him! That is very, very... Well, you don't want to do that really.
He's had to open up.
The dreaded quarter panel nearly happened there, Alex.
Yeah, great move actually from Jamie, and you're right, Andrew, as well. Just touching on what you said, he's been very impressive since he come. That first week at Lime Rock Park, really pulled the wool over our eyes, didn't he, somewhat? And very, very quick, and just showing what he's made of. Again, great move round the outside, and very aggressive to make sure he held onto it there.
Likewise, Richard Gore, who was a late starter in this season, as you can see side by side actually, Laidler and Lopez.
So it was GT Omega now versus Power Max. Lopez also on the move as well. A lot of things happening at the front of this pack as Lopez tries to get the cut back.
but I think he cut across the front of Wojciech Savidovic, and I think that's what really stopped him from making the move. Laidler defends the inside. Lopez going down. There's just enough of a width of a Kia Optima to go through. Lopez lay on the brakes. I think has he gone too deep? No, not really. He saves it beautifully. Jacob Lopez.
Yeah, Carroll gets past the pair of them there, really. So good move from Carroll while they were fighting.
Lopez, wow, that was brilliant. That was why he's a champion, and now he's up into 4th place. He's through, and now he can chase after those 3 at the front of the pack as Stefan Hug is closing in on Richard Gore now. Oh, Savidovic off. Savidovic is off, and he's coming back on, and he hits Chepalevsky. And everyone has to take evasive action. I don't know who it was that hit Savidovic. I'll just have a look back on the replay, but this is the championship leader.
That's the worst possible place.
The quarter panel by Russell Laidler.
But he can't get round.
Is he stuck on the hill?
He should have gone down, maybe gone down the hill and back round. I don't know, but
33rd.
he's got, yeah, all the way down now. I was going to say about Richard Gore, Alex. He came late to the season, and he's definitely improved meeting on meeting.
Big time, yeah, big time. Just having a little look at a replay back there of the instant. You're right, just quarter panel, and everybody had to funnel out wide, going on the top there. A few cars caught out in that. I think it was Stellion who actually got himself hit there.
Chepalevsky's in the pits with suspension damage. So he's going to get that fixed and get back out, but he's going to lose a ton of positions. In fact, he's taken tyres as well, so it's going to be even worse for him.
Lopez is through, and Carroll's through. Hug down to 5th place.
And
Hug just got shuffled back there, didn't he?
Well, Lopez is coming through at a fair rate of knots, but Savidovic doing the right thing, of course. He put the brake on the car, stopped it rolling back into the rest of the pack, but unfortunately he was on the racing line, so he really had to, he was stuck in between a rock and a hard place there.
It's horrible track to rejoin on. If you go off those raised curbs as well, it means that you're just going to bounce when you come back on, as Gore goes a little bit wide, and he's coming under a little bit of pressure from Lopez, who forces his way through on Hug, but Hug is not.
Hug gets turned by Carroll.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
It was Carroll.
Lopez gets turned by Carroll, sorry.
And now who's that? Stefan Hug coming back to possibly repay the favour. Oh, he's right with the Season 5 champion. I wasn't expecting this a few corners ago. It looked like Jacob Lopez was shooting for 2nd place, and now he's desperately trying to hold on to 4th from Stefan Hug as we head through the final corner.
Russell Laidler's in 6th as well. He's watching this group and seeing if they make any mistakes, if he's going to try and capitalise. See his GT Omega Racing teammate Dan Hunt in 7th, James Nash 8th, Steve Hefford up to 8th, Field 9th, and Baker in 10th. But there's such a tight pack there. You can see Alex a bit further back. That's the pack headed by Hefford.
Yes,
with still Field.
Around the outside, Field trying. Nothing going this time. Needs to be careful because he's got Baker waiting to pounce.
And the battle for 2nd place, Gore versus Carroll. Carroll looked close there and think Richard Gore. There's Richard Gore.
Contact between Field and Hefford. Hefford's on the grass going down to turn 4, but he just regains it on the tarmac in time. He's off now, and Baker's off, and Cunniff's off as well.
But they all get back on and somehow slot him without causing too much more drama. Field is now battling with Baker.
Baker actually might get a move on Field here.
Or not, here comes Thompson.
Thompson, and then Nash, and then Cunniff, and then Plumley, and then Smolensky. Plumley's gone backwards, unfortunately for him. He started in 5th. Carroll, he's 14th.
Carroll's through into 2nd place, just managed to get a good move done on Richard Gore. They're going into the penultimate corner. Not too many overtakes in that corner we've seen today.
Yeah, and he forces his way through Graham Carroll into 2nd place. So Richard Gore down to 3rd. He's still sitting well. The pole sitter, Jacob Lopez 4th, Hug in 5th, knocking some of the cones out of the way there, you see. And that's it's not so much a danger in these touring cars, Alex, as it is in the Formula 1 car.
No chance of them getting caught or anything like that, so the guys feel free to plough on through those.
Not too often we've had a double winner in a race meeting in the BSRTC.
There's a good battle going on right now. I think it's between James Nash and Colin Cunniff. We just jump on board with Colin Cunniff. We can see he's so close to Nash right at this point.
Down the back straight there, an Apex Racing TV car under pressure from Colin Cunniff. He defends the inside line, the Apex car, and Cunliffe had to try and go around the outside line, which he does. Side by side, will he give him enough room? Down the inside, he'll have the inside. It's not over yet.
It's definitely not over.
And look at this, Plumley trying to get involved. Still side by side. This still hasn't settled each other. It'll out, and Nash is off. And he's just back on in front of the squabbling Walker and Smolensky, so very tight there. We haven't seen it go side by side through that many corners.
No, that was great driving by the pair of them, and really respectful, Alex. They give each other a lot of room there.
Yeah, Jamie Fluke all of a sudden drops himself down to 7th place. I'm not sure quite what's happened to Jamie, if I missed something somewhere.
And Lopez has been able to get past Gore as well, so
Carroll's
Lopez up
off.
to second.
Carroll's off and ran over the cones with the car bouncing.
Right, let's have a look at Jamie Fluke. What did he do? He went off. He just went off, pure and simple. What happened? He got hit by Graham Carroll. Oh no, yeah, he just went off on his own accord. Graham Carroll had closed in on him, and he just put 2 wheels onto the grass, and the car was off after that.
Just trying to find that on the replay to see if we can see it. Yeah, you can see him coming under a bit of pressure here. Yeah, like you say, just going into that tricky right-hander before the sort of the second crest. Got himself all turned around and finds himself in 7th place.
Dan Hunt's just gone past Russell Laidler 5th and 6th. I think that might have been a team decision. Hunt had the pace over Laidler.
Yeah, it looks like it done it. Pretty orchestrated move there.
But very well done, not lost any time. Somebody who's looking very feisty today is Dave Baker, but it's not really getting him anywhere. He's only in 10th place. It starts 17th. But Dave's not really had a great deal of joy. He's had a couple of good finishes, but
we haven't
nothing outstanding.
We haven't seen too much of Simpson racing all race meeting, really, have we? They haven't featured in any of the races, so had their issues, and
it's almost like they haven't got the set right.
Yeah, exactly. Just something just not quite right, not happening for them. I'm sure when we look at the end of the race, the team points for this race meeting, I think you'll find they'll be quite way down, which is unusual for them because they're normally probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams.
The team that was so dominant in season 7, David Baker winning the championship, and we might have got a 1-2 in the opening race meeting of the season back then. So not good to see them so far down.
So just have a little look, check on Pete Newman as well. We might as well from his hospital bed, 33rd, still going, started 37th. He's making his way forward, but it's slow progress for Newman, but he's fighting on beautifully. The
battle for 3rd is on. Richard Gore versus Stefan Hoog. Hoog on the inside in the Leo Bodner car, down the inside of Richard Gore in the Apex Racing car. Gore gives him a bit of room, and the move is done. So Stefan Hoog back into 3rd place.
Beautifully done on the brakes by Stefan Hoog. He didn't lock up. He didn't run wide, and that allowed Gore to just slot in behind him. So some nice overtaking we've seen actually, Alex, down there. We've seen a couple of mistakes, but most people have made it stick.
Yeah, for the most part it's been really good. It's worth pointing out, which is 6 laps to go, Gore obviously is an AM driver trying to work his way up towards the top of that AM championship, and Hoog there of course a pro driver, so it's probably not worth him fighting at this point. He's going to have an absolutely amazing result as far as the AM point standings go if he can sort of hold on to a top 5, but already Dan Hunt's closing in, and that just goes to show that the Laidler sort of pass through there totally justified there, as well as Hunt's already on Gore's tail.
Yeah, Gore is currently sat 3rd in the AM standings, sorry Adam, and Paul Smith and John Roberts are in front of them. Paul Smith is 20th and John Roberts is 22nd, so this is a heck of a good move from Gore in the championship.
Russell Laidler down to 11th place, just went off in the same place that Jamie Fluke did, and now he's down into 11th position. But now Richard Gore versus Daniel Hunt. Hunt was under pressure from Hugo a lap ago, and I think Gore, protecting his AM position, lets the GT Omega car through.
It can see, Adam, that there's a 5-second gap behind him with just 5 laps to go after this one, so I think he knows he's not going to get involved in anything he's seen. He's already got caught up in the incident of his teammate earlier on today, so Richard Gore's thinking top 5 finish, Alex, good points, good for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just having a little look at another great little battle. There's a few actually good ones going on, but right now I'm looking at P13, 14, 15, 16 as well. So that's Plumley, Nash, Smolensky and Walker. Good little battle, and Walker's trying to close in on the back of Smolensky there. Gets close, but can't make any kind of move.
Yeah, sorry Adam.
No, I was just going to come up with a stat, but you go.
No, go for it. Yeah, I'm all for the stats.
Yeah, last time we had a double race winner in a race meeting was Wojciech Swidovic all the way back at Barber Motorsports Park. So in this season,
I was in that race.
Yeah, ended up on your roof in race.
I was in the lead of it, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
So it was, it was all kicking off there. At Barber, I did end up on my roof trying to defend from the aforementioned Swidovic, as Jeroen Kaiser and Dan Kraft are closing up onto the back of this pack, Alex, that you were talking about as well. As the 72 of Steve Hefford having to defend the inside at the hairpin from Lee Thompson, the 83 car trying to go around the outside, and Thompson trying to make up for that unfortunate incident with Katz in the last race. And well, he's going to be he's going to be really determined to do well here, and he's on the back of Hefford now. He's going to put him under pressure.
Here we go, into the right-hander.
Late on the brakes, but he carries more speed through the apex of the corner, just can't squeeze in on Hefford, but Hefford gave him a tiny bit of room just in case Thompson ran wide. He didn't, and Lee's now got to set him up through the middle part of the track, Alex.
Yeah, exactly, and that little bit of battle in there has let Laidler and Cunniff get right on their tail as well, so it's not going to be able to make a sort of half move. He needs to sort of commit to it if it's going to happen. So just it's the trouble, I think, with this series as well, is you there's so much pressure from behind, even when you're trying to move forward.
Graham Carroll leads by 2.2 seconds from Adecoba Lopez. Last time around, Carroll did a 1:26.252, and Adecoba Lopez was 0.4 of a second slower.
Crazy battle here going on for 15th place between Alex Smolenski, Jeroen Kaiser, and the Laser Tools teammate of Walker. Oh, Kaiser trying to force his way through between the two Laser Tools cars, almost like Katz in race 2, but unlike Katz, he's able to get it done without any cars going off.
That's a stem car, actually, Adam. That's of Steve Walker.
I think we lost the driver in there, actually. I think James might have got himself disqualified there. I'm not sure if that was any of his doing, but just before that, just see him drop off. Let's just see if we can take a quick little look.
Smolenski.
Few drivers, unfortunately, gone.
Smolenski looks really erratic, Alex. I don't know if he's got damage on that car, but it's like he's weaving around.
My apologies.
And under braking, he nearly loses it. He surely has damage, Adam.
It looks like, can't tell whether it's crabbing or not. He's doing a very good job of hiding it if it is, but he's now losing places now in the corners, so there surely must be damage. I apologise. That Stemex car looks very like a Laser Tools car.
Yeah, in the hands of Steve Walker with the blue trim. And
sadly, that little battle beforehand, there was some side-by-side action between Smolenski and Nash, and unfortunately, I think Nash got hit a couple of times there, and that has got him disqualified, so he'll be gutted about that.
He will indeed. Daniel Hunt's not going to be gutted, though. He's up into 3rd place. He got past Richard Gore. He got past Stefan Hoog into the hairpin on the previous lap, so he's moving up through the field well. Gore is still sat in a very strong 5th. Field is in 6th, and he's just ahead of Jamie Fluke, so Simon Fields had a terrific meeting.
Yeah, and so is Graham Carroll en route to take his 2nd race victory of the evening. As we head out onto the back straight, though, Jamie Fluke under pressure from David Baker. Time for the Stemex cards. The Stemex seem to get some redemption here in the 3rd and final race of the evening. David Baker on the outside line of Jamie Fluke on the inside as we head into the right-hander. Baker going to swoop around the outside. That is a good move there, but will Fluke try and hold on to it? I think it's not. Oh, he is. He's got alongside him. Down the inside Baker into the right-hander.
There's not a lot of room to make a pass there. Baker just saw it coming, though, Alex. He gave him just that half a car's width extra. And into 7th place. I think Baker wants to finish 6th again, Alex.
Yes, his famous position was just waiting for our overlay just to catch back up on us there. Just blinked out for a moment, so apologies for that.
Graham Carroll starts the final lap. He's got a 2.3 second lead. I believe he's going to win this race, barring any disasters. Hunt's in 3rd, 4th for Stefan Hoog, 5th Richard Gore, then it's Field, and then Fluke, and then Baker. Sorry, Baker ahead of Fluke now.
Fluke could get past Baker on this last lap. He doesn't seem to have dropped back at all. Only 0.2 of a second between them as they head through the first corner. If Fluke gets a run, he could have a look down the inside into the right-hander. In the background as well, Steve Hefford battling with Lee Thompson, and Russell Laidler battling with Colin Cunniff as well. So some good battles here on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, Cunniff in 12th place, Laidler in 11th. Punish trying for that, the man who won race 3 at Laguna, and Laidler, who's won many races in this series himself. He's got to move to the inside now as they go down towards turn 4.
Get past the traffic.
Andy Whitehead there moving out of the way. And I'll tell you what, it's been an awesome weekend for Graham Carroll here at Mid-Ohio. And he comes through the final. There's a right-hand king here. Third gear, left-hander over the crest. Just keep it nice and tidy now, Graham. Long right-hander, slowing down into second, maybe even first gear, hugging the apex. Opening up the throttle through the final left-hander, and Graham Carroll takes the double win here at Mid-Ohio.
Great job. Started in 13th place, and as I was saying at the end of the first race, that it's going to be hard for those guys at the front of the pack to work their way back through, but fantastic job from Carroll. Lopez as well, 11th to 2nd, 3rd Dan Hunt. So basically the top 3 started just outside the top 10, 13th, 11th and 10th, and they managed to come through and get the win. Stefan Hugen 4th, 5th Richard Gore, 6th Simon Field from 21st on the grid. Great job from him, great race meeting from him. 7th is David Baker, 8th Jamie Fluke, who was in the lead for a brief moment. 8th Steve Hefford, 9th Lee Thompson and Russell Layler. And Lee Thompson rounds out the top 10. Russell Layler 11th, Colin Cunniff 12th, Robert Plumley 13th, Jerome Kaiser 14th from 33rd on the grid, Daniel Kraft 15th from 36th on the grid, 16th Steve Walker, 17th Alex Malensky, 18th Wojciech Savidovic. So despite that big off for him, he managed to come back and get an 18th place finish. Very good. Jack Blycall in 19th, and Ellis Stevens rounds out the top 20.
Yeah, the retirements: James Nash, Ben Palmer, Robert Fagg, Steve Burke, Sebastian Jobe and Tom Ward. None of those will score points. And again, Alex, it was another, we keep going back to it, another race for Sebastian Jobe not scoring.
Yeah, he needed just to knock up some points in that race. I think he'll still be in the top 10 after today's meeting, I'm sure. So
Pete Newman doing donuts in his with his controller.
He's moving in the right direction, that's all that matters. Unfortunately, it looks like himself and his teammate Nash got themselves disqualified as well. I say got themselves, they were obviously banging doors and things like that, and Sebastian had to avoid an instant in front of him, go on the grass, and that was it. He was already up to the point. So yeah, I think the nature of Mid-Ohio is very narrow, it's very tight, and we always expected to see some door-to-door action here, and that's definitely caught a few drivers out having to make late sort of avoidance or battles towards the end of the stints. And I think there's a few drivers there we've seen disqualified today.
And if you thought the racing was good this week at Mid-Ohio, wait till next week. Watkins Glen, probably some of the best racing we've seen in the BSRTC ever the last time we were there back in season 7. And
it was definitely wild.
Yeah, we had teammates taking each other off whilst battling for the lead, I do believe, and going flat out, no bus stop chicane, just flat out down to the carousel. So much slipstreaming, and some quite big incidents as well at the start. I remember turn 1, all the cars trying to funnel through the S's. Some big incidents there. So Watkins Glen must watch next week.
Yeah, indeed, and we'll be right here in the same place, live on YouTube and on Motors TV throughout August and throughout the remainder of the year as well. Alex, it was a very well-driven meeting actually, and it's a great advert for what this series is all about once again.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, racing out there was great all night long. Just a couple of incidents that stewards have got to look at, I'm sure. But this is exactly what this series is about. Good, hard, fought races. You got to get your elbows out here and there to get some moves done at these tight and twisty tracks, and we've seen that today. And with this, you either love it or you hate it. I think as the drivers, some will leave the meeting very frustrated, while others will be absolutely delighted. Driver that is going to be delighted, Graham Carroll. first meeting back in the car, and 2 wins. What a great performance from him, and also a good race meeting from Lopez as well, moving his way up slowly through the pack. All 3 races, got himself in a good reverse grid position for that last one, and was able to capitalise and get 2nd place. Good meeting all round for Paramax, I think, as well. Looking at the consistency that their team had throughout that meet.
Yeah, I mean Lopez definitely the star throughout there. Right, it's just about time that we'll say goodbye to everyone watching on Motors TV. We'll see you at Watkins Glen next week. And for everyone watching on YouTube, we'll be back for the post-race show, a couple of interviews, right after this quick commercial break.
Stop that, can't I? And I can stop the Audacity as well. We don't need that now, do we?
Alright, okay.
Get that exporting, can't we, I suppose?
That's a tough meeting, I think, for
Paper.
Yeah. Got banged around a bit in that one. We had all 5 cars out there, but 3 of them did pretty poor in that last one.
Nash got sort of hammered a bit.
Yeah. Like Jake didn't do too bad, and Lee didn't do too bad, and Richard didn't. So, for the most part, it was okay. They're scoring consistently.
Well, that's better than only 3 people turning up and one of them retiring.
Yeah.
Quick broadcast tonight? Or is it just me? 2 hours?
It's because they got on with the sessions, didn't they? Yeah. Properly got on with it. But that's good. I mean, it means we don't...
Who do you want to interview before the advert?
I don't know. What do you reckon?
Welcome back here on Apex Racing TV to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Welcome to the post-race show. Welcome to the post-race meeting show here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Adam Bath, Alex Simpson and Andrew Woodhouse alongside us. So is David Baker. David, good 3 races for you, but the team just didn't seem to be able to crack inside the top 5 this race meeting.
Yeah, sadly not. I think we had a bit of bad luck with people kind of just missing reverse grids and stuff like that. But generally, the car was really good. I was surprised that I managed to keep out of some of the trouble we had and put in 3 good races and sort of show that I can still do that every now and again.
Was it a general issue with setup here, Dave? Why maybe the team didn't figure quite as strongly? I mean, we saw Steve Walker up there at the start, but Paul didn't really figure. Rob was sort of around, wasn't he? But
Rob has been showing great pace in all the practice sessions, actually. He was the one that kind of helped us develop the setup, and generally it's been really good. We've been able to put quick laps in when we've been running, but I think the nature of the track means you just form a train, and I think we had slightly higher wing and so couldn't get past people on the straights, but when we were in clear air we were able to put on a good pace. So
the braking zones aren't really that long either, are they, Dave? I mean, I was racing with you last night. I think we were at the back at some point together, and it was just like that, wasn't it? It was just wait for someone to make a mistake.
I think that's it. I mean, you could have it as, one guy running ridiculously high wing and one guy running ridiculously low, and yes, they'd get past on the straight because there'd be such a delta between them, but we don't really have that much variation. The setups I think that people run tend to be, fairly similar, so just getting the run on the straight was difficult, but when things did kick off, it provided for some good close racing and some really good side-by-side racing, particularly with Jamie, and the races with Hef I had were absolutely brilliant.
Well, next week we head to Watkins Glen. The last time we were there back in Season 7, you managed to get a race win. It's going to be all about the slipstreaming, though, compared to Mid-Ohio, where it was almost single file ready through most of those corners.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping I can challenge Graham again at that track. I mean, you saw the pace he had this week. He was almost untouchable in the races. So, hoping for a good week at Watkins.
Yeah, Graham Carroll finished second to you in that race, which you won back in Season 7, so I'm sure you two will be probably at the front battling, hopefully, once again.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Okay, thanks for talking to us, David Baker. We'll see you at Watkins Glen next week.
Cheers, thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Dave. It's good to. It's always good to grab a word with the Season 7 champion, and Dave Baker. Yeah, a decent meeting though all round. I think, Alex, for him.
Yeah, great meeting. Actually, I think he'll be pretty happy with that all round. Good points. Just consolidates his position where he's at right now, and that's all that matters. I think he needs to make sure he's in the showdown at the end of the season.
Let's grab the man then, who is one of the newer drivers to the series, but definitely showing that he's already one of the best. Go and grab Jamie Fluke for us. Can't move. Oh no, here we go.
Jamie, welcome to the commentary box. It's your third race meeting in the BSRTC. How are you finding the series so far?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Definitely a little bit more hectic than what I have previously been used to, but thoroughly enjoying it so far. Yeah.
How did you fare then throughout the evening tonight? I mean, it looked like you were up there at the end, in the middle. You were battling in the midfield for quite a long time.
First race, I was sort of in midfield, I think somewhere 10th, 11th, 12th, something around there, and with about 2 or 3 laps to go, I accidentally double downshifted, blew my engine, so started second race from the back. Got fortunate that people decided to get themselves into incidents in front of me, so I only made about 3 or 4 overtakes, but went from 38th to 18th, and then inverse grid put me 4th for the third race, and I was leading for a while, and then as soon as Graham Carroll got up behind me and started applying a wee bit of pressure, I made a mistake, ran wide, and ended up I think 8th. But so could have went a lot worse. Could have went like last week, but I'll take it. It's a decent enough result for me.
What was the difference between when you came into the series? What were you expecting, and what have you actually found?
I wasn't actually 100% sure what I was really expecting. Really, just I was looking forward to just driving some touring cars. I'd never driven a front-wheel drive car in a sim before, so sort of a bit of a new experience, and was more than happy to give myself plenty of time to sort of get myself up to speed, which I'm slowly getting there. I'm pretty happy with how it's going, and really I was just looking forward to some good, fun, clean racing.
Yeah, and it's been so far, and you've shown pretty well. I mean, anytime you're in the top, sort of around the top 10 in a 40-car field, you must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy so far with how I've started, but the competitive racer in me will always want to do a little bit better, so I'm looking to push myself a little bit further up the grid next time around.
You can definitely get the PowerMax team and push them towards the showdown as well. You missed Jamie Rushworth tonight, but Alex pointed out with Lopez back, it was a good meeting for you guys.
Yeah, it was a pretty strong meeting for us. Lopez obviously coming in, he's incredibly talented, one of the quickest guys probably in sim racing right now, so always useful to have him around. And I think the rest was chipped in with at least one good race out of the three, just to sort of help the points tally along. So a solid meeting for us, I think, yeah.
Watkins Glen next week, do you think you'll be able to work your way back up towards probably the front of the pack once again?
Watkins Glen's the sort of track that I think everybody thinks they're quite good at, because it's not the most technical track in the world, but I'm not really sure really where my face would lie around a track like that. Woodhouse is a track that I'm very comfortable around. It's a track that I thoroughly enjoy. Watkins Glen, I'm not really sure where I would sort of fit in it, but we'll sort of see how it goes.
I think you'll need a bit of luck there as well, mate, to be honest. But thank you for joining us
definitely.
anyway for the first time in the commentary box. It's good to have you with us, and it's good to have you in the series, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, and I'll definitely see you guys next week.
Jeremy Flick there. Good to see that he's eager, Andrew, and he seems up for the fight next week.
And definitely willing to push forward as well. He knows, he's definitely made a great start to his career, but everyone's wanting to improve, aren't they? And that's the great thing about this series, is that the quality. I mean, we've only been, we've had this discussion off air, Adam, but we started covering this series pretty much 1 year ago today, almost, wasn't it? And the quality is just so much stronger now.
Yeah, all the time, every week we see the quality step up a notch.
And the great thing about that is that it's a lot of the same drivers as well, isn't it? It's not like we've got a great big load of new drivers who are really, really good. The core is the same, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always that top 5 or 6, always at the front of the pack, and that's what makes the championship great, because the points practically almost stay pretty close throughout the season. I know Savidovic has got just a little bit of an advantage at the moment, but we've seen today that he can easily make a mistake or get involved in some sort of incident, and then it brings it all together once again. And the reverse grid always throws up an added surprise as well. So we always sometimes see first-time winners in the championship as well. Just the championship standings, by the way, have come in for the third and final race of the evening. Jamie Rushworth remains inside the top 10 by 11 points. Lee Thompson is only 11 points behind Jamie Rushworth in the battle for 10th and 11th. Sebastian Jobe is in 9th. Pete Newman 8th, down 2 places. We'll have a word with him shortly. 7th, Ellis Stevens. 6th, Simon Field. 5th, Alex Smolensky. 4th, Stanian Chepelevsky. 3rd, David Baker. 2nd, Andreas Katz. 386 points behind our championship leader, Wojciech Savidovic. We're going to bring down now for an interview.
We've got Graham Carroll with us, actually, in the commentary box. Graham,
how are we doing?
How are you doing? It's been a while for you, mate, and you've come along. You haven't won since October 2014, and you got 2 at once.
I didn't expect it, I'll tell you that, especially that last race. But the first race went really well. I knew I had quite good pace from the race last night, and it worked out well then. And the second race, I just wanted to finish. That's all I wanted to do. In the third race, I just pushed on a bit. The boy in front took a few out. He went wide about himself, and it ended up really good, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Actually, it was really good.
Did you you've obviously made quite a big improvement even since last time you were in the series, and what do you put that down to? Do you prefer the tyre model? Have you got better setups with friction racing? What do you think is the case there?
Probably moved from a single screen to 3 screens. Probably moved from like Windows XP to Windows 7. Got myself a Fanatic rim wheel and the rims and stuff, and better pedals. And to be honest, when I done it last time, I just sort of joined the service and just jumping in at the deep end, and just trying to keep up with all these quick guys and getting a wee lucky one. But I had a wee couple of sessions myself the other night and got stuck in about the car, and it worked really well for me.
I mean, Alex, you know how big a difference that makes. Better equipment, it generally brings better pace.
9 times out of 10, it does. I think the triple screens is the game changer. It certainly made a huge difference for me.
Yep.
Just opens up the racecraft that much more as well.
Graham, what are your feelings then on Watkins next week. Are you going to be with us?
I'm not sure, to be honest. It was just a one-off for tonight, but since I enjoyed it, I'll maybe be back. I think I've got a wee penalty in the qualifying for resetting my car, so might have to come back and take that. But I'd like to think so anyway.
Well, if you do come back next week, we're sure you'll be on the pace. Last time we were at Watkins Glen back in season 7, you were second to David Baker in race 3, and had a pretty good race meeting. So hopefully we do see you there next week, and well done on taking the 2 race victories here tonight.
Cheers again, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
And we've just been told that this is the halfway point of the season. So
yes,
started at Phillip Island back in March, and we have now reached the halfway point of Mid-Ohio. And we were just having a conversation. Did Graham Carroll drive for Apex Racing TV?
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm not. Again, my memory is terrible, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think you're right. He did actually. So, remembering way back a few.
Oh yeah.
Alex, it seems crazy that we're talking about the midway point of the season when we've just done race 51.
Well, yeah, I know, it's just crazy, isn't it, when you think of that? 51.
We've already done 3 Formula 1 seasons worth of races nearly, and just halfway through. But you know what? We're loving every minute of it this season, and the Pro Series definitely bringing another aspect and another, greater competition. We've got one more interview left, and it'll be 2 members of the Pete Newman media team, Adam.
Yes, Pete Newman, who's been racing from a hospital bed tonight. It doesn't manage to put in 3 okay races despite the conditions, and also we're having a word with, who was the other Pete Newman person?
Simon Field.
Simon Field, that's right, yeah.
Who's had a heck of a good meeting himself tonight. Boys, welcome.
Evening, fellas.
All right. You two had very different experiences tonight, but both pretty successful, I guess, in their own way. Simon, I'll start with you. Great win earlier on, and you've now taken 5 victories this season. You sort of snuck up on a lot of people, haven't you, in the last few weeks?
Well, I have to admit, I haven't had the best of seasons, but like I say, I have done fairly lucky with the reverse grids so far. I think most of my wins have come that way, and like I say, it's get out front, hope for a gap, and then pray for carnage behind, really. But it seems to have worked.
How did you find it out there with the conditions and with especially keeping the tyres in good nick?
Yeah, it's one of those tracks. There's lots of crests and things, so you've got to be very careful with the throttle when you go over them. Otherwise, you start rinsing the tyres, and that's what kills them. So it wasn't too bad. Like I say, everyone had to deal with the same thing anyway, and it was just like I say, try and keep your nose clean and see what happens. And so far, it worked out quite well. So I'm pleased.
What do you make of this fella's effort tonight as well from his hospital bed? It was pretty special, to be fair.
Oh, you've got to say fair play to him. Like I say, you don't get many people with that kind of dedication. So it's fair play to him for turning up, and well done to him.
Well done, Simon. We'll stick around for a second. We'll talk about Watkins in a little bit. Pete, how are you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thanks, guys.
You feeling all right? Everything good?
Yeah, just about. Successful operation yesterday. Just kind of relaxing. Brought my laptop here because they had the Wi-Fi installed here, and I thought, if I feel okay, I can hopefully tot around at the back and get some points because it's so close at the top. I've worked so hard to get myself in the top 10. I'd feel quite disappointed if I'd get knocked out of the top 10 for being in hospital. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Race 2, I got DQ'd because I might have seen some nurse outside my window that distracted me. But aside from that, it was brilliant.
Well, you managed to maintain your position inside the top 10. You're currently 8th position in the standings, only losing 2 places in that third and final race. So that's good. That's good news. Next week at Watkins Glen, can we expect you to be back to full fettle?
Yeah, I should be back home by hopefully Saturday or Sunday, and then I can be back ready for next week.
It's great. Simon, that was your 5th race victory of the season in race 2. You're starting to pick up on these race wins. Can you see any more coming your way, hopefully at Watkins Glen?
I certainly hope so. It's a track I do enjoy, so I will be aiming to do well. I just need to work on my qualifying in race one. Really, I think this is the second or third meeting in a row I've not made the top 15, which is quite disappointing for me, I have to say. So try and improve on that race one performance, and that might propel me further up the field, hopefully.
You've been in this series for a while, Simon. We've been talking all night and all season about how the standards improved. What have you found in that respect? Because it's getting tougher and tougher out there, isn't it?
Oh, without doubt, the competition. We've got so many strong drivers now, and you've seen people come through the field. I mean, I'm sure even Pete himself would say his first season was not his strongest showing. But you look at what he's done now. He's another one able to qualify top 15, and he's there or thereabouts all the time. And there's a lot of drivers like that. It is a fierce competition, but that's what makes it half the fun, to be honest. Like I say, you're racing against quick guys, and and when you beat them, you feel even better about it. So, like you say, I've been here since season one, and it is a fantastic championship. And I think credit does have to go to the organisers for sorting this out.
Pete, as a team owner, I just want to get your perspective on something as well. We're on Motors TV very shortly, and that's huge for the series, isn't it? And for sim racing, especially, and for your, and I guess for your company sponsoring a team. Because anesthetics really kicked in. Oh no, wait a minute.
I'm really sorry, guys. I was having my observations done.
Are you back with us now?
I reckon that must be a no.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's all right. Simon, what do you think about with the TV deal and everything? I mean, everything's looking up for the series, isn't it?
Oh, again, that is fantastic. I don't think any of us would have dreamed that when we started this at season one. I think we had grids of 13, 14 cars each week in that first season, and to be where it is now, with 40 drivers turning up every week, and like you say, with a TV deal, that is just it's fantastic news, and it shows how that sim racing is something that people obviously want to watch. So fingers crossed it goes well. I'll certainly be watching it, I have to say.
That's it. That starts on the 18th of August as well. We can officially announce that that's going to happen. So thanks to the two Pete Newman media drivers for joining us, Pete Newman himself and Simon Field. Well done again, boys, and we will see you at Watkins.
Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers. Adam, I get a final word from yourself. You've missed a couple of weeks. You're back now. It's like you've never been away, and you must have enjoyed that one.
Yeah, the championship. It's like come back to some fantastic racing in Mid Ohio. I was a bit cautious about Mid Ohio, of course. The track not being really good for racing in IndyCar and not being famous for overtaking, but we did see some fantastic racing in race 3. Cars working their way back through the field, and the likes of Sebastian Job showing that you can overtake sort of in the tight and twisty bit on the other part of the lap. Bad night though for Apex Racing TV. We were saying in commercial break, not a good night for them at all. However, Watkins Glen next week is fast and flowing, but still got to be cautious. We've seen some big incidents there. We're racing on the NASCAR layout, of course, so it'll be very short, very quick, fast-paced racing next week, and I think if the racing was good there in Season 7, it's going to be even better this time.
Alex, we've had a few tracks in a row, Summit, Lime Rock, Laguna, and now this one, that have really punished the drivers, and we're continuing that theme, aren't we, with Watkins Glen, then Gilles Villeneuve, and then Spa.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of contrast. I mean, we've had, obviously, these tracks have all been very, very narrow, very tight, difficult to overtake. Watkins, on the other hand, is perhaps a little bit different, very wide. You can overtake, lots of slipstream there, but very difficult to break away. So the packs are still going to be hugely competitive. And then when we hit places like Spa, the F1 circuit, very wide. Again, I think the slipstream will probably keep everybody very close together, but different racing all around there. So I think the next 3 weeks certainly going to be a little bit different, bit more widespread. I think packs separate packs will start to form rather than a great big train like we've seen these last 3 weeks. But it's going to be fun, no doubt.
Yeah, we kick off a 5-race stretch before the little week's break that we've got in a 2-week break that we've got in September of tracks that have hosted Formula One races. There, Watkins Glen, Montreal, Spa, Zolder, and Monza. And Adam, there's some highlights there, isn't there?
Oh yeah, when we did the media day at Monza, I thought the racing there was fantastic, and can't wait to go back there on 3rd of September, the last race before our break. We've got a to be announced on the 17th of September, which could be anything really.
That's not actually Leader's Choice, is it? Leader's Choice is the first round of the showdown, and Adam, that's the other reason that you want to be ahead on points as well, isn't it?
Of course, picking your favourite racetrack, and that's what a fantastic way to start off the showdown. If you're at the place you perform well, for all we know, we could be doing back-to-back races at Donington Park. If Wojciech Savidovic or Andreas Katz likes that racetrack, we could be going there twice. So,
or we could be going twice to Interlagos. And that's the fun thing, you know. We've got Alex. We've got a stateside finish to the season as well, with obviously the Leader's Choice coming before Interlagos, Mosport, Sebring, and Daytona. What do you make of those tracks to end the season?
Yeah, actually, good tracks. Mosport very, very close as well. That good sort of back straight there that can, you can get some good overtake maneuvers going on there. But
Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something cut off.
Sorry. Yeah, I think the Kia will go really, really well there. Daytona, well, we've seen before on some of the oval circuits, but you can get such massive slipstreams.
Oh, Charlotte Road.
It's just that's gonna be pretty awesome. I think Daytona as well. Great road circuit there.
That's on the 3rd of December.
I think it's going to be an exciting close, and it really is. Though I think they kind of picked those tracks with some sort of purpose as well to sort of try and keep the racing a little bit open. I mean, there's contrasts with them as well. It's going to be good. I mean, still very early to talk about those final 5 races, I think, but still, I'm looking forward to them.
They're quite a distance away, but we've also got. Adam, is it the first time we're going to COTA?
Circuit of the Americas? No, we raced there back in season 5.
Oh, season 5, okay.
I think we did season 5 or season 6. But we definitely raced there. Just looking
it was on a short layout, wasn't it?
I'll have to look back on the league.
I think we raced there on a short layout. We're racing there on the full course. Anyway, I think we've talked enough about the schedule for one evening. But Alex, have you got a final word on tonight's action?
No, just that I thoroughly enjoyed it. More of the same. Looking forward to next week's race, and more importantly, I'm just looking forward to kicking back and watching it on TV in a couple of weeks' time.
Yep, August the 18th is the first broadcast on Motors TV. We'll keep you up to date with a bit more of a proper time and everything closer to the day itself. But from all of us here on Apex Racing TV, it's goodbye from Mid-Ohio.